Hello, comic book fans, and welcome to another live edition of Off the Rack, unless you're watching this after the fact or listening to this on Spotify as Off the Rack New Comics. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
Something's different about you, I think. Should we address the head in the room?
I don't know if it's even that noticeable.
I think it's noticeable, and I think the chat will agree with me.
I don't
that
know.
Not only is it noticeable,
I think I'm going to wait for
but
chat.
it's noticeable in a good way. People like it.
I think I'm going to wait for chat to see if they do notice.
If they do notice. I noticed immediately, and I love it. I think it's great.
Thank you.
Isn't there like a fun little oh no, you haven't posted anything.
I did.
You did?
Yeah, right before you.
Oh, I didn't see it. Where is it?
On Instagram.
Instagram.com/TheRealZoobs. Is that where I would have to go to see this?
That's it.
That would show you if you were like, oh, I didn't really notice. Watch it, and you'll be like, oh, you know what? That is a very noticeable change.
Yeah. Well,
unless you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple or whatever.
Idea.
In which case you're like, right, I'll just take your word for it.
Yeah, there's a difference.
You're like the Daredevil of the audience, where you're just kind of like, I'll just take your word for it. But I'm still doing I'm fighting the good fight by listening to the show.
That's right.
In any case, we're talking about new comics that are coming out this week that we think you should pick up. And of course, we're reviewing books that came out last week, and we're going to give you our impressions of them. And I'm very excited to talk about them because some really good books came out. But also, we're going to talk about She-Hulk because the first episode debuted. And incidentally, we ended up actually like sitting down as a group and watching it. That's very rare nowadays that we sit down and watch like a Marvel show.
Yeah, it wasn't even, I mean, it was Ben.
It was Ben. Yeah, but Ben, Tiffany, myself.
Yeah.
Like that's basically that's 2/3 of ComicPop. That's 3/4 of ComicPop.
I was like, what? What kind of math is
that's
that?
4/5 of ComicPop.
What is happening?
That's 8/10 of ComicPop.
Okay, you clearly didn't do well in fractions.
No,
like me.
I didn't. I failed math a lot. That's why I'm doing this. You think think I'd be sitting here talking about comic books?
Yes.
In my late 30s, if I were.
Yes, you would. By the way, yes, thank you, everybody. It is a new haircut.
Yeah. By the way, we should mention that this show is sponsored by you. If you're watching the show right now live, you're the sponsor of the show. Though I did solicit a sponsor. At least I reached out to them. They haven't contacted me or anything, but I am actively pursuing sponsorship for the show. Only relevant sponsors that don't look to change what we're doing here. We mentioned In-Stock Trades. I was like, hey, In-Stock Trades, you want to sponsor the show? Because I think we'd sell some books. But we'll see what happens. In any case, if you want to keep them and everyone else out of this show, sponsor today's show by using Super Chats. If you have a question or can't comment, we'll read it here on the show. Or if you want to help us more directly, you can go to patreon.com/ComicPop. All links for everything are in the description. I actually did a little like tease.
Oh, what?
Before the show started a couple hours ago, I said, are you bored and waiting for the stream to start? Well, you can click more on today's video and join the ComicPop communities available below. That includes links to our Discord, our Instagram, our Facebook pages, which we just cleaned up, the Facebook group. It used to be a cesspool of just nonsense. I'm very happy to say we've really culled it down, curated it. Still have over 3,200 members in the Facebook group. Wow. And we have over 250 or more live users on the Discord page on a regular day-to-day basis.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We also have a subreddit for those of you who actually still use Reddit. So before we jump into some books, let's read a couple of super chats, shall we?
Okay.
But I mentioned, but I digress. Well, also, we're talking about She-Hulk because of the thing. Yeah, so we're going to review the first episode of She-Hulk after all the comic stuff.
Okay.
And then we'll recommend some books.
That's what's going to happen.
Brian Rowlands, thankful for some live ComicPop on this rainy day in central New York. Every show on both channels is great. Well, thank you very much,
Yeah,
Brian.
no, it was more than raining.
Oh, yeah, no. There was some power loss. I'm sure my parents lost power because you did.
It was only for a second at
your
work.
office.
I mean, in my office, though, like I now work in an area that's technically like below. No, it's not below ground. Wait, is it below ground? Yeah, it is below ground. So there's no windows. Like, there is like down the hall. Yeah. So like when it popped for a second, I was like, I am in utter darkness.
Yeah. You were like the president's daughter in Escape from LA when she's about to be electrocuted, and then Snake Plissken hits the world code and turns out all the lights, and then she's like, they did it. They shut off the earth. There's no way they didn't just shoot her. It's supposed to be hopeful, but there's no friggin' way.
Okay,
they
that's not what I thought.
But it is like
I was also completely alone down there.
Yeah, well,
so it's like these lights are coming up, and it's gonna be like a video game is ready to go.
Yeah, well, you just open up a random drawer, you'll see there's like some kind of dope weapon in there, and you're gonna be like,
I don't want that.
No, I don't want that either.
That's the one I don't want.
Ray Farce is ComicPop Woo.
I am not Doom Guy.
You could be Doom Guy. You could be at least Ripley. ComicPop Woo! I can't explain it, but last Friday I felt weirdly influenced to buy Beta Ray Bill, so I did. Weird. My copy of Supergirl just arrived too. Well, you were in luck because you're about to read 2 dope-ass comic books. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is an amazing series that was snubbed at the Eisners. You should definitely read it if you like words and beautiful pictures. Beta Ray Bill from Daniel Warren Johnson, same deal, but a little very different. Beta Ray Bill is dope AF. You want to just have a dope AF experience, just have a fun-ass ride that was also snubbed at the Eisners, you could definitely enjoy Beta Ray Bill, the Argent Star. Ray Farr also says, also, any bear sightings lately?
Yes.
Yeah, you saw a bear.
I did see a bear.
Yeah, and we were not attacked, but like
no,
our garbage was
our
attacked.
Our garbage was assaulted, but it remained, its contents remained inside of it. So the bear did not succeed. But I did see a bear on my way to work.
Oh, did you?
100%.
No, this is the bear sighting that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I saw it on my way to work. He popped his he like literally adorably popped his head up from behind a guardrail in a residential area. And I was like, oh, a bear.
Yeah.
I'm in my car, so I'm okay.
He was like, oh,
have
yeah, it's
fun.
Delightful. It's not like when I've seen bears in the woods and I'm like,
Yeah, you don't want that.
It's less hopeful and more, screamy.
He was particularly cute, and then he like galloped across the road in that awkward bear way that they do. It's not fair that they're so dang cute.
That's why they invented the teddy bear. They were like, these things are cute. I think if they hadn't gotten into the whole aftermarket, children's toy thing, maybe we might fear them like we should.
Maybe. I mean, they got a cute face. I love the ears. They're so round in the back.
I know.
Just want to boop the snoot.
Right? They got an adorable snoot. They're soft.
Yeah.
They look
Are
fat.
they soft?
Yeah.
Are they?
Well, like they look soft.
I don't
think they're flubby because they have to have all that blubber.
Well, yeah.
But I don't know about their hair. I've never touched a bear.
No, neither.
I have touched a taxidermied bear, but that's a very different animal.
No, I think that's pretty much what it is.
Okay. Well, it felt more like, like horse fur.
Like a fur?
Yeah.
Like horse fur?
Making very, very deep cut references. Harishi Venkatesh, you guys seen all of Sandman season 1 yet? Thoughts? No, we haven't seen all of season 1, but we have seen a large portion of the show, at least 3 episodes of which we did already watch the bonus episode because I knew it had nothing. You knew really.
I did. I was like, yeah, we can watch that.
We can watch that because that has nothing to do with the plot.
Yeah.
All you do know is like spoilers. Morpheus gets out.
Literally, like Netflix is like with that single episode trying to test should we just go to not all at once releases?
Right. Yeah, they did the same thing with season 2 or season 4 of Stranger Things. They were like, all right, and then 2 more.
They split it up though. And they did say they were going to do that. This was a surprise. So
yeah. No, it was a surprise. They just surprised you with like, here's 2 beautiful stories that were probably better in comic book form. But either way, it was fun. We enjoyed them. Like they were cool. So if you haven't already watched the last episode or the bonus episode of Sandman, you might enjoy it.
Yeah,
you will enjoy it. The reality is, the stories are so compelling, written by Gaiman.
Yeah,
like they have no choice but to be good.
They're pretty spot on,
right?
I will like the Calliope one. Like it's dark.
They took liberties and it was dark,
but it's dark. But like I gotta tell you, there's something. The comic is quite. It has a
darker edge,
a little more raw feeling to it.
Yeah, all I wanted to do was read that issue.
We're also on Netflix, so it's like I get it, but
no, I get away with it.
The spirit is there. The spirit is there 100% for those 2 episodes in particular.
Well, that's good.
And also like the animation, that was always my hope.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted from Sandman. I wanted it to be animated. And before everyone's like, I actually
but not like that. I didn't want it to be like mocapped.
No. I didn't want mocapped, but they did do an animation style, right? And so like I had always thought that if they ever developed Sandman into a like
live act or motion,
and into another media, like animation, like either
itself.
2D or 3D would be the way to go because it'd be a great homage to the many artists that have worked on it. Even if you're not exactly capturing those styles, just having different styles and that flow throughout the book.
Yeah,
whether it be because artists left or was a particular artist for the story, the issue. You know what I mean? Like that was always my idea because it's like that to me is the best way to capture Sandman because it really does. Like I said, pay homage and honor everyone who worked on that.
Well,
so anyway,
remember when DC gave a crap about their animated projects and like very early on in the like direct to DVD market, they were like, oh well, this is the Batman Superman story from Ed McGuinness and Jeff Loeb. Let's animate it like Ed McGuinness.
Yeah.
Or this one was done by the late and great Michael Turner. Let's do his style. It was just kind of like, that's really cool that they try to do that.
Yeah.
And then they like went, let's never try that ever again.
I know.
But like Sandman would be interesting to see it just kind of morph from different styles. Did we ever actually sit down and watch that Death short that was written by DeMatteis?
I never could find it.
That's right.
Like I couldn't find it, and I don't know why.
Well, it's quite yes, as I understand it, it's quite brilliant.
I would love to see it.
Yeah, it's short, but it's
I don't care.
But it's death, and it's death in every way you'd expect.
Okay.
You know, like
It's the kind of death
that you have not experienced, but are very familiar with. But yeah, man. So Dan V900 says, oh no, I'm sorry, Brady White. Let's talk about him for a second because he's the one who was first. Says, I hope y'all are doing great. We are. Thank you very much, Brady. Hope you are too. Today's my birthday.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Brady. Worked on my comic today and hung out with my brother. I got more Sandman and Mephisto Versus today. Nice. That's great. Hey, Mephisto Versus. That's a pretty fun episode of Back Issues, if not a ridiculously weird comic book that we did. But yeah, man, enjoy and happy birthday to you.
Yeah, very happy birthday.
Dan V, seeing the Nascenti Chip story in DD 650 reminded me of Chip's interview here with him saying his second favorite comic ever is the Nascenti Daredevil run. Very cool. Yes, in that particular episode, by the way, he mentions that one of his favorite moments is when Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, is in that issue and it opens with his face, and some kids were like, "Hey, flame on, do some fire stuff," and he's like, "Okay," and he's half on fire. He's coming ablaze, and his internal monologue is today the day where I burn alive. Every day I set myself on fire, but is today the day where it burns my flesh and I die. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, Innocenti, chill out.
I like that.
That's so her.
Because it's like,
But that's like, Chip's favorite single issue, and I'm like, give me a break.
I like that. I like that inner monologue because it's like, and I would die because some kids told me to do it.
That's right. Yeah, no, I'm dying for a dare. I'm dying to be cool in front of 12-year-olds.
Dying because they told me to do a flip.
Right, exactly.
Like
Spider-Man, do a flip, and he breaks his neck. Like, yeah. It's like, what an asshole, I feel like. But no, it's great. And Nascenti's awesome. And if you haven't read her run, it's ridiculous. And I was very, very fortunate that back when East Coast Comic Con existed, that we were able to meet her there.
Yeah.
And I got her to sign my very weird Spider-Man comic.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. In any case, let's talk about Daredevil number 2, aka Daredevil number 650. This is legacy numbered, of course, but it is from Chip Zdarsky with art by Chicheto, De La Torre, Zdarsky. This is like basically it's the next issue of Daredevil, but it's also like an annual. They're treating it like such because it's a marquee number, 650. What a celebration. I don't know why they did that, but it's awesome. The book itself is awesome. It's Daredevil faces off against a new / old foe. It's an old character that gets a new power set and a new motivation. It retcons a whole bunch of stuff. This is
is it being a skeleton ninja?
It is not a skeleton ninja. That cover is a lie. I'm sorry to say, but you know what? It is fucking awesome, and it also maybe hopefully indicates what we're going to get in the future because Matt and Elektra are leaving to become the Fist, which is going to fight the Hand, and it's going to. They're
well, they can't be the Foot, that's for sure.
No. Eastman might have a few things to say, although maybe not now that I don't think he owns it. But in any case, this issue in particular is awesome. It just Matt pushed to his limits. There are revelations that are really, really nuts. They're all over the place. Like I was like, wow, you're okay. And it's again just Zdarsky proving that they can do pretty much whatever they want, and Marvel's gonna be like,
I'm asleep.
Whatever.
Yeah.
As long as I don't have to edit, I don't care. But it's great. It's a great issue. There's also a Nascenti story, which has it's about like a couple of poor people who are related to a low level like mob guy, like a thug, and he died, and they took his hand off, and they use it to like commit crimes.
Took his hand off?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like they cut his hand off and they keep it on ice. And they're like, what other crimes will he be committing today? And they're using it on stuff. And it's just like they're just trying to take back what he like lost from them. And it's like Jesus. But it's great. And for a minute I was like, ooh, who drew this? I'm like, oh right, this is Zdarsky. Because it looks just like public what is it?
Public domain?
Public domain, thank you. And of course, everything he draws. But it looked great, and it was a lot of fun. It's a really cool story. This issue is worth picking up. I have it in a physical. You should pick it up. Daredevil number 650 or number 2. Really fun. And the Chicheto art is off the charts.
Number 2, whatever.
Yeah, but the Chicheto art is off the charts. It's just nuts. So cool. Damn, such a good book.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's only because Marvel's just not paying attention. Nick Del Tufo says, hey, Sal and Tiffany, I saw the Ballad of Beta Ray Bill video. Twang.
Twang.
And I've been enjoying your videos for the past month. Keep up the amazing work. Keep being yourselves, and here's to keeping the lights on. Thank you very much, Nick.
That's so nice. I like that message.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. Maybe that was your first episode of Back Issues, which I really appreciate. Yeah, that was a fun episode. And I'm really happy about it. And it saves me. There was a moment when we were shooting our next week's episode of Back Issues, which is just Daniel Warren Johnson's Beta Ray Bill, in which I had to explain to Ethan everything that happened in
because
the
he
ballad.
wasn't on the episode.
It wasn't on the episode. And so I'm like, geez. And then I remembered, oh, yeah, there's a whole episode. So I just deleted it. And then I'm going to put a card there so you can watch that. And I'm like, this episode just got 20 minutes shorter.
You're right. Previously.
Yeah, you don't even need it.
On Back Issues.
Just we go, it's cool, and then there'll be like a you can just click it.
Yeah.
Know what the hell's going on. But thank you very much. That comics guy, in honor of Riddler, one bad day, here's a riddle. I can be cracked, I can be made, I can be told, I can be played. What am I?
What is he?
I don't know. I'm not Batman.
Yes, you are.
A smile? I don't know. A joke?
I can be told.
Yeah, I think it's a joke. What am I? I'm a joke.
You can crack a joke. You can play. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yay! I was like, a mystery?
Oh.
No. Because it cracked.
Yeah.
No.
And Sick says, love the latest Elseworlds. Crazy how Western comics seem more stigmatized in the West than elsewhere. Used to visit family in the Philippines, where there's usually a comic store in the most major malls.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like there used to be a lot of those. But there used to be more comic book stores back in the day. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting how the world is more accepting of comics. What do you want to talk about?
I read a lot this week, so
well, let's power through it then. Let's do it.
Let's do a couple.
Let's
real
do it
quick.
to it.
I read New Mutants this week. It would say another book that not tied into what's going on in terms of A.X.E.
That's good.
It makes sense because it's all taking place in limbo, and obviously magic is a part of what's going on in A.X.E.
Yes.
So it's like, it's fine. Who cares?
Sure.
This is all coming beforehand or after or whatever.
Well, Madeline Pryor's there, and she's very much going to be ensconced in a Spider-Man story, so probably not.
Oh. Well, no, she's just ruling over limbo, and she wants to hang out there because like she's really looking to like get away from her prior stigmatization. And so like she finds that Krakoa isn't the place for her, but this would be. So that's kind of what this is. It's kind of the wrap of that. Like we find out who's behind all of this because there had to be a big bad behind that guy Sim, the demon Sim.
Naturally.
And it's not Belasco. So who is it? Oh, well, it's an evil version of magic.
Oh.
From like another time or place where she became like she took over limbo and like embraced it, and so she became an evil sorceress kind of thing, right? But in order for her to really like she exists, but then like because magic was there, she was able to manifest. But in order to actually take hold of limbo, she needs to kill magic to take control of it, because that's how it works. Is blood spilled allows you to take hold of limbo, not knowing that like she'd already given it to Madeline. But that's also why magic wasn't able to like summon the soul sword and like use her powers appropriately, because that magic had like siphoned some of her abilities away.
Sure.
So at the end of the day, like magic teaches Madeline some sorcery. So I'm like, that's a mistake.
That's not a good idea.
That's a bad idea.
Okay.
And you know, we deal with this evil magic. She's killed by Madeline Pryor, who has like a really great like line. I don't know, it's not really great. I just found it to be funny. Like they spent a whole bunch of time in a cave, like hiding. And like training and like having magic teach Madeline magic. And you know, she like sneaks up behind evil magic and like kills her with a scythe. It's funny. And she's like seriously, like, did you think that like we were like in this cave twiddling our thumbs? Like, what did you think we were doing? Like, you didn't see this coming? Okay. So yeah, I thought it was kind of fun. And then magic literally has a magical girl sequence in which she gets her power back from the evil magic. And like twirls around and gets new armor and like a fun new costume.
Oh, cool. All right. Do you like it?
I really like the like. Is this
speak into the microphone?
I am.
You're going over there.
Is this better? Well, all right, fine. Is this better for everybody?
I think so.
I'll just drop it down a little.
Good. Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
No, I like her black outfit, I think, better. I just like that look on her. But we'll see. So at the end of the day, she also tries to fix her relationship with Piotr. You know, he mentions that he's been like missing parts of his memory as of late, and obviously it's because he's being controlled by Mikhail occasionally, so that's all going to come out at one point.
Yeah.
But Madeline's sitting on her throne, and it's all like "Long live the Queen," that kind of thing. So like I said, this has nothing to do with what's going on in Acts. So again, New Mutants is just plugging along for us there. It was a fun little sword and sorcery style story that focused on Magic and Madeline Pryor, and kind of setting that up for her. Oh, also at the end, Magic is like, so like, hey, Krakoan, Quiet Council, this is what I did, so I don't really care.
Right.
That like you probably don't want that.
Probably not.
But like whatever, because like this is a place of like second chances, so why couldn't she have one as well? And like also I feel like we should be teaching more magic to people, like more sorcery to people, so I'm gonna start doing that. And I'm like, that sounds like what Apocalypse wanted to do.
Yeah, right.
So okay, we're just gonna find
all right.
That feels like it should be more in, like, I get Magic doing it because like she does deal with more of the younger mutants, and she does have access to sorcery and magic, so it does make sense. But it also kind of feels more in line with what Richter was doing, since he wanted to follow Apocalypse and like the magic side of it. I don't know. So yeah.
Who wrote this?
Vita Ayala.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, well, is it part of the like whoever the new architect of the X-Men world is?
Yeah.
They're probably going to be the ones to write Apocalypse's Return, since Hickman will never write X-Men again.
Right.
And so if they're setting up any kind of Apocalypse magical stuff, we should probably look to whoever it is that's
right. That was written by Vita Ayala with art by Rod Rice. So that was New Mutants number 28. There it was. Additionally, I also read X-Men Green.
Yes.
Number 1 of 2.
Okay, I wonder where this is going to be collected.
So this one, okay, so what is this actually technically called? Hang on. It is called, why? X-Men Unlimited, X-Men Green.
Okay.
It's just like 2-part. I mean, this was like 40 pages, so they might be able to just bind.
Oh yeah, then you'll be able to get
one.
that. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, let's talk about this, guys. This probably isn't a book for everybody, but it definitely speaks to like me in a way. Like I appreciated this book.
Oh, great.
This is written by, I think it's Duggan.
Jerry Duggan.
Yeah, it's Jerry Duggan with art by Emilia Liso.
Okay.
It looks good. It's written well. Obviously, it's Duggan writing it.
Yeah.
This is like, okay. Initially, I was like, oh, we're doing like X-Men Planeteers. Got it. That's why it's green.
Right.
Because we're talking about the Earth and how like humanity is poisoning the Earth. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Then I realized it's actually Duggan taking Nature Girl and making her like into Poison Ivy.
Oh, okay.
I had no problem with this book, but I totally get people not enjoying this because it may not be up their alley at all. Like
sure.
I do have a soft spot for environmentalism and animals and like helping them. And when that turtle like came up on the beach, there's a sea turtle that dies in this book, and it's really sad right at the beginning. And I'm like, that really gets me, especially because ComicPop one time sponsored a sea turtle at the Turtleback Zoo.
That's true.
And actually got an update that it was released and rehabilitated, because the Turtleback Zoo, by its namesake, does take on like sea turtles in order to rehabilitate them, to like release them. So that immediately attached me to this book.
Yep.
Because I was like, oh, hey, we did this. That said, it is kind of a weird book.
Yeah.
It's a weird book.
Okay.
Nature Girl like kills people. She's drawn by Curse. And honestly, like I was like, I don't think I really knew who Curse was. And I'm like super interested in Curse now. Kind of interesting power set.
Yeah.
But like it's Curse and Nature Girl out there, and it strikes me as this like Poison Ivy Harley Quinn dynamic they're trying to set up, right? Which is really weird, and like I don't know if it really fits or is suited to this universe. It does feel like Duggan has something to say. Maybe he's like had enough of like people throwing plastic bags out or whatever. I don't know. But I am just saying, like, that is what this book is. If you don't want to read it, it is completely not.
Right. It's all elective. It's not.
That's very elective.
You can just, if you're like, I don't give a shit about the environment or even being told how to feel about the environment, then don't fucking buy the book.
And also, like, it's like, I'm interested to see where this goes, and here's why. Because I feel like Duggan at the end of the day is going to say that Nature Girl is going about this in the wrong way, and that there has to be like a different way to fix this.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or they were like, fuck it, kill everybody.
And that's
kill them all.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for, because like obviously now that she's done this, like this is set during the Krakoan times. So
she committed a crime.
Yeah, so hence she should
be punished.
Yes. but Professor X sends Wolverine out to get her, to bring her back. So like, I'm not sure what he would initially, because he's like, she's very confused and she's very hurt because part of what Nature Girl's power set is it's like Mati of the Planeteers.
Right.
She's got heart.
Okay.
But she can feel the pain. So like when the turtle shows up, like choking on this plastic bag, dying, she's like, all it wanted to do was not die alone, and she can feel it as it's dying. And I'm like, and that it's enough to send her over the edge, because she's like, later on, she's like, I promised myself, I made a promise to myself I wouldn't go back to the beaches because of this. And I broke my promise to go have some fun with friends. And therefore I experienced this. So for her, it's like, she is feeling this, like,
this effective,
the actual like the death and destruction of the world around
the impact,
her. Yeah. And I'm not saying I agree with the way she's handling it, but that's why I'm saying I'm interested to see what Duggan's message will be at the end of this book. It's only one more issue. So for me, I was interested in, but
whatever.
Yeah, because she's also young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she's brazen, and like she's she's quick to action, because like she's like, no one else understands it the way I do. And so like I'm going out there and I want to do this because like someone has to pay for it. And it's like, what if someone who was on the younger side and was hot-headed and like thought they knew what was best had the power to do something like this, or had like, so I'm, like I said, I trust Jerry Duggan. So like, I'm going to see what the next issue has to hold, but I completely get people not digging this book 100%.
Yeah.
So,
right. I would probably, if I didn't enjoy it, not act like someone held a gun to my head and forced me to read it.
Yeah, I would definitely not do that, because I don't know. There's previews out there. Like, like they actively.
It's not like you were tricked into reading it.
I mean, that said, it is Jerry Duggan, so for a lot of people, I'm sure they were expecting
like something essential to the X-Men.
Yeah, and that's very not what it is. I mean, that said, Sauron's going to be a part of this.
Oh, okay.
Sauron? How do you say his name?
I say Sauron.
Sauron?
I say Sauron because that's how it's spelled.
Okay, Sauron. He's in here, and there's something kind of hilarious about him and the way he like operates and does. Like, he shows up back at his lair and has like this almost Doom-like moment where like there's a rabbit there who's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, sir." Like a bunny. Like you're home early. Like you're here early. Like dinner will be delayed, and so he eats it. And then he uses his like mouth to like trigger the doorway so he can go into his lair. And I'm like, of course.
Okay.
There's like some humor to that in my head.
Yeah, Sauron really enjoys being a dinosaur guy.
But listen, like,
he's the guy who doesn't want to cure cancer. He wants to turn people into dinosaurs.
He wants to turn people into dinosaurs. I get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But like I said, X-Men Green, totally up to you. If you're looking for what Duggan has been doing with the X-Men, this probably isn't for you. But like I said, I'm going to read the next issue. I'll let you know how it turns out, whether or not it went the way I think it's going to go, which is like to say like, you're not wrong to want to see change, but this isn't the way to do it.
Right. That's actually a pretty decent like lesson there.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Waputo says, just jumping in to say, hey, I have to watch the repeat later, like the recent Sandman, and I like the new Do. Keep rocking, you guys. Later. Thanks, Waputo. Thanks for being here, man.
Unless we're talking about you.
No, he's talking about you. Ray Farr loved the last Elseworlds, but hearing Sal and Joel say mid and sus and cringe, maybe age 45 years. Also, Sal cut your hair since you cut his, right? Oh, yeah. That's all my doing.
Yeah. No, Sal did a good job.
Yeah. I'm really good at it. MN&M says, worth mentioning, Daredevil 650 also had pages made by several Daredevil artists. Everyone did one page, Jared Jr., Klaus Janson, Phil Noto, etc. Also, One Bad Day. Maybe the best Riddler story, not that there is much competition. That's how I felt. We'll talk more about that as we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, if you haven't already checked it out, it's pretty dope. Like, Daredevil 650 has a bunch of really cool art. It was really cool to see JR Jr. do an Ascenti, like, it wasn't Ascenti, but it was just seeing JR Jr. draw Typhoid Mary in a book that had Ascenti's name on it was very much like oh, that's kind of cool. Look at that. Alan Osborne, glad to catch y'all live. Also, Tiffany, your hair is gorgeous today. I happen to agree. So thank you.
Thank you. It's newly cut.
Yeah. And Venomous, I'm going to be running a comic club for middle schoolers. Do either of you have any suggestions for books and stories that could be read? I thought EDGIEST Batman and King Superman keep being great. You too, Venomous. Obviously, if it's a middle schoolers, you can read things like Bone is a great one. I think that Strangers in Paradise is probably okay. Maybe not. Maybe more like 8th grade and up.
I would say, what about Strange Academy?
Strange Academy is a great one. That's a great suggestion.
And that only because that'll give you another genre that, like, hey, look, there's magic in also Western comic books, so like that might be something that they gravitate towards.
This is true. Yeah. The Oath is okay to read for middle schoolers, although again, it's a little advanced. Yeah, when I'm thinking about like 5th and 6th graders.
Yeah.
I would definitely say, I mean, if you want to, you can easily give them any books from Lee and Kirby. Any of the Superman Up in the Sky, Birthright, Superman Birthright is great. Any Superman book really is going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to Batman, you got to be more discerning. So I would avoid.
What about Spider-Man?
Spider-Man, you can read anything, pretty much anything by except for Kraven's Last Hunt. I might wait a little longer. But then again, so many of these formative books,
Maybe not Sins Past.
Sins Past, yeah, well, I'd skip that. But you're not going to have a copy of Sins Past. Nobody has a copy of Sins Past lying around, especially one that they want to give to a human being. But Spider-Man's one of those things. Spider-Man Blue is a fun one. It's self-contained. It's it's got cartoony art. And the message.
Don't forget, some of these
it's
kids
a little dark, but
may not have a lot of backstory on a lot of these characters.
Yeah, but Spider-Man Blue is one of those things where it's it immerses you into a world that they wouldn't read normally, but in a idealized fashion. But again, it also, I think just honestly, we talked about this, I think in the last episode, where I was like, any book that was made in a certain time period is a great gateway book for young people. And I talked about this at length on the Elseworlds Exchange episode we did last Friday, in which I was like, we have a responsibility having cheap as free comic books to make sure that we give as many as we can to the younger generation. So one thing I might reach out and think about doing is, I would, as the head of your comic book club, talk to a couple of comic book retailers and be like, do you have any dollar books that are too crappy, that are in bad condition?
What about Gotham Academy?
Gotham Academy, great book for middle schoolers. I love that idea. Yes. And we love that book. That's a terrific series.
It's a great one.
Yeah. Honestly, it's a great series that they could read that really might make them feel emboldened or, adult. The Robin series from the 90s, that Chuck Dixon Robin run. That is, but the mini series, it's a little graphic, but not enough, no more than your average television show, and certainly no more than a television show they would be able to see. But again, go to your comic book stores and be like, do you have any dollar books that are just beaten that you would that you would like to donate to our middle school comic book club? Books that you can be like, take this with you. Now you go through it and make sure that it's okay, but take this with you. This is yours forever,
Oh,
and give them to people, because children need comic books in their hands that they can feel free to beat the shit out of.
Yes.
And there's nothing that you can, there's nothing more appropriate than a comic from the 80s to 90s that. That is part of a 1,000,000 issue saga, but also is worthless. So it's okay to just beat the shit out of it.
There's also some new stuff they've directly created for that age grade.
Yes.
So you could also look at some
Marvel
of those.
Adventure Spider-Man is a great series that you can pick out.
But there's some middle grade reader kind of books there.
Yeah. But Bone. Cat Lore will defend for treats. Where's Reed Richards when a god's adjudicating? That I don't know, man.
Hiding.
Usually looking for some kind of ultimate weapon to threaten the entire universe with.
He's like, what's that? Space needs me?
Yeah. Gotta go. Joshua Link, those X-Men Green comics were originally released on Marvel Unlimited a little while back. Marvel was doing a little double dipping.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
Honestly. But I don't follow Marvel Unlimited, honestly.
Yeah.
But like I said, I know it's not for everybody.
Right. The Amulet series from Scholastic.
Yes. I forgot about that.
Dante Cook, I never was a Superman or Girl fan, but after getting halfway through King's Supergirl, I'm rapidly becoming a classic Supergirl fan. Supergirl and now Riddler, Tom King is killing it this year. I happen to agree. We'll talk more about it as we go. Life Story is not a bad idea. That's a good one. That's for kids. It in no way is inappropriate.
Right.
Ultimate Spider-Man is another one.
Yeah, actually.
Ultimate Spider-Man, it'll make them feel adult because it's all about a high schooler.
Right.
So you trust me, and they'll be a lifer. Anyway, so Nightwing. I read Nightwing number 95. This is, of course, from Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo. Things are coming to a head to this non-stop continual story about Nightwing fighting Blockbuster and being reminded that he is the most beloved member of the DC universe. Basically, he coordinates with everybody to be like, okay, we're taking down Blockbuster, we're doing this, and then they do, and Blockbuster in the end discovers his identity. Oh no, what are we gonna do? It's a really fun issue. It's a really cool story, and it has a lot of terrific cameos. Obviously, the art's terrific, but things feel like they're coming to a head. Obviously, we're on issue 95. I'm thinking maybe the head will probably arrive around 5 issues from now, if I were to be a betting man when it comes to centennials and stuff. But otherwise, it is a terrific series. I honestly, it feels like the next issue is going to be the last one in this arc. but I don't think that's true.
But it says part 4.
Exactly.
You think it's going to go to part 9?
Yeah, no, it's got to go to part 6.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
But great series, great art, terrific writing, and of course, just an unabashedly like fun book that like is just like, you love Nightwing, you love to love him, everyone does too. Let's go. That's what that book is. Hogshead, I respectfully recommend Lazarus for a Black Issues episode. If you take recommendations, Rucka does a great job world building, and it's very topical.
That was brought up recently.
It was indeed. Yeah.
Where, though? Was it here or was it on Twitch? I don't know.
Could have been either one.
Twitch.tv/ComicPop.
That's right. If you watch twitch.tv/ComicPop, you'll see Tiffany playing video games. It's a lot of fun.
And also, don't forget to like this video.
Oh, yeah. If you give us a like, it'll help us out a lot. And subscribe and click the bell to get notifications to know when we're going live. What else you got, Tiffany?
Good question. Good question. Because I closed the app.
Oh, good.
Because, I'm a professional here.
Well, you got a lot of X books, I'm sure.
I got it. We're here.
All right.
I read X-Force this week because it said the Judgment Day title on the top of it.
Yes.
It really had nothing to do with that yet.
I'm
except
shocked.
for the fact that like they are dealing with fallout from the exposure of the resurrection protocols. And I'm like, okay, I guess at some point this
I
is
guess
all gonna
technically
tie
that's
in.
true. Okay.
But listen, if you're a Kraven fan, Kraven's in this book.
Kraven the Hunter is in X-Force?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I gotta tell you, like, I don't know if Ben Percy was just like, I want to write a Kraven the Hunter story, and I'm not writing Spider-Man, so I have figured out how I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And so he does. Basically, Wolverine, I missed a couple of X-Force books.
It's fine. It happens.
Books is precious.
Yeah.
But so I missed out on Kid Omega's death, so he died.
Oh, no.
And somehow his consciousness is not saved in Cerebro.
Oh, no.
So, like, he's not coming back.
Oh, that's fine.
And Wolverine's like, something's wrong with this place. And he blames Krakoa. Because, when he's like, something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Wolverine's been... Initially, we were all like, why isn't Wolverine questioning things? But he has been, apparently. And so he's like, you're, like, siphoning off of us, aren't you, Krakoa? And, like, he kills a tree. And Chuck comes along and is like, do you feel better now? And he's like, no.
Right. And then you see like the post credits is like Krakoa being like,
no. Then we just cut to the Arctic because Kraven's there because we're watching this guy who's got like a harpoon on his back and he looks like this and I'm like, but we don't even know. I'm like, is this
Kraven?
Is this Kraven?
Yeah.
Kraven, what are you?
Kraven's clone that has all the memories and experiences of Kraven.
Here's the thing. It's just Kraven.
They don't care.
They don't care.
No, Marvel is. We knew. Like,
yeah.
A friend of mine who is a huge Kraven fan, friend of ours.
I hope that he read this issue.
There's no way he didn't.
Because
and if he hasn't, he will.
He will because like I'm like we're doing a Kraven story in the middle of X, and I'm like, sure, why not?
Kraven hunting on Krakoa is a great idea.
Well, basically, it's like he's in the North Pole. He's he's hunting. His dog's died of exposure. Then he burnt his sled for warmth, but still he like progresses on because he's the greatest hunter.
Yeah.
He gets he fights a seal and he kills it, and he's like, I didn't come here to kill a seal.
Good, because that's not really hunting. Piece of shit.
He pulls it out of the water. It's in the water. He pulls it out. He harpoons it.
Great job.
Then he uses some of it to keep himself warm. He eats some of it raw, and then he's like, but the rest of it is bait. And you see this like massive bear.
Oh, cool. And he murders a polar bear. Like there aren't fewer of them.
He murders a polar. Yep, like a big jerk. And I'm like, cool, thanks, Kraven.
What other things do I do? Oh, a unicorn. Let me kill that too.
Kraven's Kraven.
Yeah.
He kills this polar bear and then he like opens it up because he's like, I'll live in him. Well, he talks about it like it's like it's having relations with someone. He's like, I'll wear its skin because it's the closest you can be to it.
Sure, Kraven. All right.
And I'll wear its head like a hat so that I can look through its jaws on the other side. He doesn't say that exactly, but
he is doing that.
He will do all those things, but he does comment on all of it. And then he's like gutting it, and then like he finds Deadpool's head in it.
Oh.
So then we don't know that we're doing this, but we're doing a let's go back. Like, how did we get here?
Let's flashback, yeah.
Deadpool has joined the X-Force team.
Mm-hmm.
X-Force has lost Wolverine for the time being because he's like, screw all of you. Kid Omega died.
Mad no one seems to care.
And Kid Omega's not on the team.
Mm-hmm.
But Omega Red is on the team now.
That seems suspect.
No, they're giving him a second chance.
Oh, good idea.
So, like, he's joined the team. And
hey, you hear that? Fan who's watching, who's not really a fan, just a friend of ours who likes these characters. Omega Red and Kraven are in this book.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
Yeah. Omega Red, like, is annoyed by Deadpool because Deadpool can't help himself, of course. Everybody gets a assignment.
Yes.
To go off. Deadpool and Omega Red end up together. Black Tom and Domino go to deal with one of the gates, because it turns out Angel likes to fly in this very specific, beautiful area in Utah. And they caught him, and they're not going to kill him because they know the resurrection protocols.
Yeah.
But they will like take his wings off and like leave him alive
Okay.
until they get their answers for why they can't have.
So basically,
humanity has lost their minds.
What Hickman has done is he set up a world in which all of the X-Men will experience horrible trauma because no one will dare kill them, but they will torture them to near death.
Well, I mean,
all the X-Men will remember having been tortured and mutilated by humans.
He didn't, because he didn't decide the protocol was going to be revealed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I know.
Anyway,
but I mean, come on.
They go to save him, but they specifically sent Omega Red and Daredevil to go onto
Deadpool.
Deadpool. We were talking about Daredevil.
Daredevil's in it too.
And Daredevil too. He is there as well. And I don't know who's another random character.
Quasar.
And Quasar. No. And Deadpool. It's a red. I saw red suit, and we were talking about Daredevil before. Give me a break.
Yep.
They sent Omega Red and Deadpool to the ship to free these mutants, specifically because if it doesn't go right, it's such a weird teaming that they could be like, we didn't send them.
No, yeah.
It's like they can have plausible deniability.
Totally.
Deadpool, of course, doesn't actually get a chance to help out anybody because he gives Omega Red such a hard time that Omega Red cuts his arms off and stabs him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's stuck there, and that's when the polar bear comes along.
Oh no!
And you're like, oh,
that's how he got
in there.
Yeah,
right?
I know. When you see it in there, I don't need a flashback. I get it.
I guess you need to know whether or not this is an old Deadpool head. Where did this Deadpool head come from? Right?
I don't need to know that. I know. I can use context clues. Basically,
we flash back forward to northern Siberia, where Kraven has entered a bar, and these people are talking about the mutants and their ability to resurrect. So that's how we're getting tying.
That's how we can justify putting the logo on the cover. I
really can't, because that's not enough for me. But that they're talking about how they're all powerful and they've taken over Mars and all this stuff, right? And Kraven literally standing there in a bear suit, basically, with a bag full of pieces of Deadpool,
right,
having a drink. And someone's like, well, no, continue, person who was giving us a little reasoning as to how Kraven's going to figure all this stuff out. And he talks about how they've become the apex predator of the galaxy.
Oh, no.
And Kraven's like, what did you say?
What?
So I'm like,
see you next week.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, Kraven is going to Krakoa.
Okay, that's fun.
It'll be interesting. I'm wondering if he's going to arrive there as everyone's being judged.
Right. Well, Kraven doesn't need to be contributing to the judgment, because
Kraven, we do not need you.
Well, the god will be like, you're not even real. You're a pile of genetic trash. You're not even real. Brian T. Brawler says, Tiff, loving the hair.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ray Farr, you just maybe Google Nascenti Daredevil, and I want the whole run. And if Kraven and Beast don't have a gorilla fight, then throw the book away.
Oh,
I agree, man.
Yeah.
It'd be great if Kraven would kill him, and then they could resurrect him and have him be like, it'd be really interesting if
they could adjust him.
Can they fix this? Can we use my backdoor of getting? This was always Dark Beast, and when we kill him, we go to resurrect Beast, and it's we never Beast has been dead for years, and we finally bothered to resurrect him because we thought he was already alive. Can we do that?
I think the only thing that they could
is that a way we can explain that?
No, what they could do is they could because you need to use Cerebro and the backups, right? Is to look at the backup and then have something be like, hey, we saw something else in there that is also Beast, and it's wait,
what's that thing? Minority Report.
Oh,
where it's we thought it was an echo.
Yeah.
But it was actually two files.
Yeah. And it's one, Dark Beast is the one that we've been pulling, but the fact is real Beast is there.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know anything that's happened in.
It's classic, Jim Lee Claremont Beast.
Yeah.
He has no idea what's been happening. He doesn't even remember Abigail Brand.
No, he would be resurrected. And then I guess his first line would be, oh, my stars and
oh my God. Right? He hugs Chuck. Chuck's smiles the first time in 25 issues, being like, Hank, it's great to see you again, pal. like they suggest like someone who's one of the lieutenants of X-Force who like knows all of his like dark bullshit.
Sage probably knows.
So Sage goes to him and he's like, McCoy, I've got some more notes. And he looks at this and goes, oh my God, get away from me.
Yeah.
Anyway, that'd be pretty awesome. Harishi Venkatesh, Craven, the checks my notes. Animal lover. Yes, according to Sony. Somber Shadow 01. Craven in a nutshell, in a bad Russian accent. I'll wear its skin and drink its blood and become stronger than ever. That's what he does.
He's
man.
No, he's not thinking he's going to become stronger than ever. He's acting like he's like, I will know this animal in a way no one else has ever known.
Yeah, that's great. No one's asking to know that animal like that. Irons Comics. Hey guys, brought all volume 1 of Sandman. Thanks to you.
Yay!
Nice.
I hope you enjoy it.
Owen Servant, thank you so much for your generosity. Fan of the channels, been looking forward to your Dreadful Reigns review since reading it last Tuesday. I loved it, but it's all kinds of disturbing. I'm not sure I know what that is, so I'll have to look that up. But thank you.
I feel like I need to definitely look that
right,
up.
exactly. But I will.
Very, very kind.
Yes, thank you very much for your support,
chat. I'm looking it up right now.
You look it up. But Nathan Berg, been a while, sending some dollars to celebrate recovering from COVID. Thanks for lifting my spirits. Well, welcome back, man. Hopefully you had a good time.
That's the name of the One Bad Day.
One Bad Day. What? That's what it's called? Good God,
well,
man.
it was at least, yeah.
Okay.
Well, we just
damn, bro.
He's absolutely correct.
Yeah, that's the title of it.
And that just says the Riddler here.
Yeah.
Well, wait, where's the credits page? You got to find the credits
That's at the end.
page. Nope.
Weird. All right. Oh, and Comic Tropes is a question. Do you rent a studio for the show? Good question. Dreadful Reigns. It is called that.
I actually read that and then I just
completely... I didn't even look at it.
Your wife took that information and just put it.
You didn't take that information at all.
No,
but
I read it. Isn't that part of taking it?
Yeah, yeah. I guess that's true.
I took it and then it went away.
Yeah. And he says, "Missed you in Seattle. Missed you too, man. I'm sorry we couldn't meet up."
That was a disaster. And a half.
Yeah. But hopefully, the whole flight. Since you're coming to New York, we look forward to seeing you. We should have you in the studio, my friend.
Yeah.
As for the studio, this is actually we've been renting the studio for about 5 years now, and it's near our place of residence, and it's the rent is reasonable. It's actually a little bigger than where I live. It's like 1,100 square feet,
which actually just gives you an idea.
Which frustrates the shit out of me.
Listen, it's fine.
But yeah, man, no, it's a rented studio. Like we've been renting it for a long time now, almost 6 years.
Yeah,
and yeah,
it's a very interesting situation.
Yeah, like we shoot back issues over there. We shoot where we keep the library over here.
Although that's it. I mean, the rent goes up every year.
Oh yes, it does. 5% every year, which is not how it should go. Anyway, what else you read?
I read Strange.
Of course, good.
I read Strange.
I think you don't even need to review it. Just tell us, is it Doctor Strange at the end of the issue?
Surprising. All right, so like the cover is a lie.
Oh, who made this?
Oh, Jed McKay and Marcelo Ferreira.
All right.
I never can remember the artist, and I don't know why, and I feel bad. But we did find out who Horseman is.
Oh, good. Who is the You're like, it's Quasar.
It's Craven as well.
Look at that glove. It's Doctor Strange's glove on the cover.
Yeah, well, remember when we were reading this and the Horseman showed up, and I was like, I assume it's this, but that would be too lazy, so it's not going to be this.
Right.
It's Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Sorry, spoilers, guys.
Spoilers, it's Doctor Strange.
Spoilers is exactly what I said.
It's the dead Doctor Strange, like he got killed.
Yeah, he died.
And then
Death recruited him to be that. And like I was like, it couldn't possibly be that because that's too obvious.
No,
but they changed his hair. They're like, it's white now.
Yeah, I saw. It's funny.
You saw the image?
I was at the comic book store and I literally just went to the last page.
You're such a jerk. I almost told you something else.
And I went, that sucks. Like it's bad enough.
Like we're getting there and I'm like,
you're like, no.
I literally, for me, I was like, and surprising literally no one.
Right. It's Doctor Strange.
At least
like they made him look old. Why? Like he needs to be older. It's bad enough that he's already like unrelatable because like no,
it takes a lot out of you.
Right.
Well, I think they did that so you'd be thrown off the trail. Be like, he doesn't have that color hair. I'm like, what is he doing? A voice? In my head, Doctor Strange is a very distinct voice.
Yes. Hello.
So like, is he doing a voice when he's talking to her? Because he has a full conversation with her in this issue.
And she's like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
I'm married to you, and I have no idea who you are.
Yeah. But like, basically, Death is like, you got to get rid of her. She's getting too close. And he's like, no way.
Never.
She still has my heart.
He does say that.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's very sweet.
Oh, that's nice.
Very nice.
Good. But he's back.
Listen,
well, how's he back?
Because Death made him her
No,
Sorcerer Supreme.
But he's still dead.
Yeah, but she's Death. It's Death. Death can do what Death pleases.
That's true. Death can
Death
return
does
you.
as they please.
That's true.
Eat
That's
it,
true.
Doom.
Yeah.
It's not just you.
Yeah. Oh, so you're saying that Death can wield the Seahorn?
Yeah. Toot. Toot, you back to life, bitch.
Sweet. So Doctor Strange is back.
Yeah, and like for me, I'm like, good, whatever. Like,
good, whatever.
We revealed the thing that I knew in my heart of hearts was what it was. So now we can actually
get on with the story.
Yes, those are good impressions of Dr. Orpheus. It's like literally comic tropes. That is my voice for Doctor Strange because Venture Brothers ruined that one for me.
No, they improved it. They made Doctor Strange cool and awesome.
Behold,
I had Taco Bell for lunch. He's so great. Dr. Orpheus.
I know what you're thinking.
Strange.
He looks like a Dracula.
Yeah. But yeah, but is it good? Did you enjoy it?
I still enjoyed the hell out of it. No. I still, don't get me wrong. I might be like poking fun, but I still enjoyed the book. And I am just honestly glad that this is out of the way.
Right, like we're done. It's like Rick being like, do you want to know my stupid crybaby origin? Meh, there.
Yeah.
Now we can move on.
That's literally it. I'm like, cool, whatever. Now we can tell the rest of the story. And that's what I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
So bring it on, McKay.
I can't wait for the new series, Stranges.
But like literally upon his showing up, I was like,
right.
I mean, like I said,
yeah.
I was literally like, but that's fun.
But that would be the obvious thing to do. I mean, but that being said, good. It'd be better if it wasn't like, I was going to say like Kane Parker. It's like, yeah, it's me just to keep things going, kick the can down the road a little longer.
Right.
It's stupid and it's weird. It's confusing, but maybe Doctor Strange will be resurrected in a less satisfying way. Right. How about that? Like, no,
it's just, and that's fine. But like the mask, I was like, why are we pretending?
Now, if he was wearing that Spawn mask from the 90s.
Oh my God, no. I hate that Spawn mask.
I love that whole suit. Blue.
I know you do. I don't
got
like
the spikes on the arms.
I don't like
Gotta
it.
bring that back.
I'm not a fan.
Anyway, what else?
I mean, like, I guess they also didn't do the like whole, like it's clearly like it's his face, like with the white hair, and she's like, "You're back," and he has no idea who she is.
Yeah, I'm glad.
They didn't do that good.
So
keep us from like that's fine. But like, I was like, there's just it's clearly him. It's a Sorcerer Supreme. Like,
yeah, but now he's the Sorcerer Supreme of Death.
Of Death.
What the fuck does that even mean? Can he be the Sorcerer Supreme of finger sandwiches? Can he be the Sorcerer Supreme of friggin' hermit crabs?
It's a realm. It's a place. You go there when you die.
So
you
Death is in charge of her realm.
Well, it's like a Sorcerer Supreme, but also kind of like
what is it? No,
like her emissary, her soldier.
Death needs no soldier. I read World's Finest #6.
Okay. Listen, what do you know about magic?
Right? Not much. But since it's not real, that's not bad. So I read this book. It's Batman Superman.
Sal doesn't know about magic and fractions.
Yes, we're keeping a running tally. This is written by Mark Waid with art by Travis Moore. It is a break in the story because Supergirl lost Dick Grayson in the past, and this story is just about Dick Grayson being lost in the past.
But you don't want to do that.
No, it's awesome.
You got to hang on to that butt.
It is dope AF.
Is it?
Yeah, it's just it's a classic Mark Waid book. It's just Dick Grayson stuck in the past. Literally Supergirl just dropped him while she was going through a tunnel and like a time tunnel. Yeah, and she was like, "Oh no!" He was dropped in like I don't know, like late 1800s, early 1900s, something like that. I think it was 1900s. Anyway, he finds like a traveling circus and he just joins it. Like he etches into a rock, like, "Come find me, you guys," and then leaves it someplace. And then and Superman just uses supervision. When Supergirl goes back to the present, she's like, "I lost Robin," and Batman's like, "Okay, well, Dick's smart. Just use your supervision to look for a thing." Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Well, where were you last?" And so he looks over there. He's like, "Oh, got it." And it's just a rock. It says like, "Find me." And then they just follow the Tachyon trail from the point when he wrote on that rock to now. And they're like, "Okay." And they just end up there. But like, that's not even the story. The story is that like there's some jerk in the circus that
a jerkus?
Yeah, that framed a bear and a lion in the circus for murder. And Dick Grayson's like, "That's horseshit." So Dick's like trying to figure out who murdered these animals. And so Superman and Batman are there.
It was Craven. He's crossed.
Yeah, he's crossed universes to hunt the most deadly prey. These poor tortured animals that are like in the horrible conditions like circuses. But no, it's great. Like, but it's so cute because, like, Robin obviously he joins the trapeze, like he's doing the acrobatics.
Yeah.
And there's a moment where he's doing the performance, and then Batman catches him on the other side. And the two of them like do a performance together of Batman and Robin doing the trapeze. And they're like, hey, and Robin's like, listen, before we go back, I need to solve this case. And they're like, okay. So Superman takes his shirt off and he becomes a strong man. And I'm like, holy shit. This is great. It's delightful. And Travis Moore does the art. It's great. It's very like similar to Dan Moore's like art in terms of what you'd expect. It's so good. So just pick, if you were like, nah, I don't know about this series, pick up this one issue and read it. If you like it, you'll love the rest of it. So pick up World's Finest number 6. Right? It's just so good. Ugh, what a good idea. There's just seeing Superman in his classic Superman costume, like being the strong man. I'm like, that's where he came from.
Just you.
That's so smart.
Having a little meltdown.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm going to do the next 2 books back to back because they kind of lead into one another in a way. So like, obviously some like tie-in kind of books came out to A.X.E this week. It's up to you if you want to read them or not. It just kind of gives you some clarity on like some possible threads that you might thought of, like, wait, what happened to this? Wait, what about that? Well, these books explained it, so totally up to you if you want to grab them or not. But let's start with A.X.E, Death to the Mutants, number 1. This one is written by Kieran Gillen with art by Yuyu Villanova.
Just read Villanova.
There
you go.
Listen, this is why cons need to happen with people like some of these artists going there, because like
Bill Sienkiewicz.
Then I can go up to them and ask them, like I did Mahmoud Asrar.
That's right.
Which is the closest I can get because he worked on it with me for a good 5 minutes, and I'm just very bad at pronouncing.
You get it right. You, that's what he said.
No, he was fine with my like.
But he did
keep trying, and like he got me to a good place. So
that was like when I met Jim Mahfood, and I was like, "How do you pronounce it? Is it Mahfood? Is it?" He goes, "It's made up. They made it up at Ellis Island. It doesn't matter. However you want to do it, that is the pronunciation because it's a fake name."
Okay, wow.
And I was like, "Shit. Okay, sorry, man."
So like it's always nice to be able to learn from the creator.
Exactly.
So, I like to try to learn as much
poor
as possible.
Bill Sienkiewicz like stopped spelling it correctly so that he could spell it phonetically, and just that's on all of his merchandise. Just Sienkiewicz. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
And that helps because for the first 25 years I pronounced it Sienkiewicz.
I'm sure Ma Danielle is taking care of this.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So this book was like literally like, hey, like what could this possibly be about? Well, it's really about the Eternals side of things.
Okay.
Like what are the Eternals doing? Which I was like, yay, Gillen writing some more Eternal stuff, right? And like
sure.
Talking about the battles. This is all prior to the Celestial coming to life, the Celestial God.
Naturally.
Like so this is like
they're really pushing this whole Celestial God. I think that's like the whole point of the story,
I think it is. No, trust me. So like literally this is between I guess this is during the events of issue 2 of A.X.E.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
the last one.
They got attacked, and it's right before it gets like resurrected.
Yeah.
So essentially this is the like Druig is like his whole thing is like death to the mutants, right? Like he's giving a little speech. Meanwhile, the other like our Eternals are getting a pep talk or like not pep talk. They're getting a recap of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, okay, so Druig's attacking on these various fronts. Ajax is like, so we're building a god. Here it is. See? And like Fastus is like, literally, you asked me about that, and I said it was a bad idea. And then like very much you went ahead and did it anyway. And I think it's a bad idea. And like she's like, listen, enough of that. Like Ajax is like, you can judge me when we get to the end of this.
Mm-hmm.
But like this is what we're doing. And we gotta keep moving along. And he's like, damn you. What do you need me to do? So they go off together, and like that's team gonna do Celestial stuff, right?
Yeah.
The other Eternals have their own things to do,
right?
Cersei knows that they like I think we see it into when they're like trying to resurrect or when they're trying to bring it to life, how like they like have to go to different areas of the world and collect pieces of the Celestial.
Yes.
Right. And so like we see one of them in which they're in Lumeria. They get permission to go to like the holiest of holy sites in a sense. The Eternals go down there. They fight like what looks like the ghost of some deviants, but it's really not them. It's like shadows burned by the power of the Celestial.
Oh,
so they have to fight them, and so then Cersei's able to take some of that power, so they can use it for the Celestial resurrection.
Right.
Icarus has a plan. He comes up with an idea, which they make a like a joke about, because like the leader of Lemuria is like, hey, like, Icarus, why don't you for the like first time like try to think of a plan? And he goes, I have an idea.
Oh,
and everyone's like,
uh-oh.
Oh no, Icarus like is having a thought. Is that good? Is that bad? He goes to the subspace tunnels because he's looking for someone in particular. He's looking for the Forgotten, and he's looking for Gilgamesh. And so the Forgotten have the ability to like be cloaked and such, right? So like,
wait, which kind of Gilgamesh? Because there's also an Inhuman named Gilgamesh. Is it?
No, I don't think so. Why would you question me in the middle?
It doesn't matter. Just keep going.
But anyway, we get a little backstory also on the you know how we were talking about, like, the Unimind is attacking, they're getting a psychic attack. We don't really see much of it. We get a little more of that. And like, I love that the World Mind does a really solid job of explaining to us what it's like here, because Zuras is fighting against Professor Xavier on the psychic plane.
Okay.
And like, Zuras is not happy about this.
Well,
but he's like following along because like he falls in line with what these Celestials want. And so like, Druig's in charge. Druig says we got to do this. So fine.
Yeah.
He was like, Zuras was voted out.
Right.
But like, Zuras and Chuck are fighting, and the World Mind is like, okay, so like, do you play video games, RPGs? And the planet's like, yes, I'm both a nerd and a geek, but like, puts it like this: the mutants do a lot more damage, and the Eternals have a lot more hit points. So it's more that it's like a war of erosion, because the Eternals are just trying to outlast the mutants.
Yes,
but also the fact that they took some of the most powerful players off the field by doing this, right?
Yeah.
What Icarus decides to do, along with Gilgamesh and the Forgotten's help, is to go into the Eternal City and like break down some of their defenses, because like, if the mutants could find where the city is, they could like launch a bit of a counterattack.
Okay.
Or at least find a way to stop the Hex Eternals, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what they do. Icarus and the Forgotten go in to the Exclusion, which is where so within the Exclusion is Uranus's what's the word for a weapons room? There's like
his armory.
His armory. That's exactly what it is.
Oh, cool.
And they basically destroy the security system and like computer system there, so that Magic and some of the mutants can show up and like put a stop to the Hex's ability to come back and like be powered, because they're drawing power from here. Icarus then goes and like sort of like temporarily lobotomizes Zuras.
Oh no.
Like, he like transports the part of his brain, or a small part of his brain, to another dimension for the time being.
Okay.
Because that way he doesn't kill him, right?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want any Eternal to die, because then a human will die.
Exactly.
So then, like, he knows that now, so he doesn't kill him. He just does that, so that essentially, like, Professor X and the other psychics are now freed up.
Okay.
Like, they're able to push back now,
because they've been like, well, they were really only out of one issue, but still,
But like, in theory, you're like, oh, they're off the field, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So then, like, we see them like complete work on the god, or it comes to life, and like, Druig has this moment of like, like, oh, they were gonna like, oh, that's fine, like, we don't have the psychic attack anymore, but trust me, like, the Mimitar like is gonna come back after the Hex died, and they're bringing her back. Like, they're gonna take over Krakoa. It's fine unless something else happens, and that's when it's like, it's just this great page where it just says you have 24 hours to justify yourself.
That's
and then
awesome.
It's just Druig going like,
show that on the camera.
This is like, Druig's like, man, as long as nothing happens.
Yeah.
And then it's like, bam. And Druig's like, he has this moment where he thinks to himself, I have no fucking idea what to do.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so he calls for a retreat, and that is when, and this is, I'm so excited, because Gillen just planted the seed that we kind of knew was coming, but I didn't see it coming in this way.
Yeah.
A lot of the other Eternals go, Uranos wouldn't have said to take a break.
Oh,
and I'm like, oh no, because you can be voted in, so Uranos can in theory be pulled from the Exclusion and become Prime Eternal. I'm like, that's a nightmare scenario.
Yeah,
nightmare scenario there.
Yeah.
So we had that side of it, and then the X-Men book this week, which again, if you're reading X-Men, sorry, we took a hard turn.
Yeah,
like the
that's
first.
a shame.
This is like the first like dalliance of this like team.
Yes, this is the first team, and Icarus is on the cover.
And Icarus is on the cover, and like what are they doing? They're fighting in this whole event, right? So this is done by written by Jerry Duggan with art by C.F. Villa. Art looks very different, and it's not quite as polished for me, unfortunately.
That's a shame.
Yeah, for me, it wasn't quite as good as it has been. But we see the X-Men, they jump into battle, right? The new team is there. Forge uses a big gun to help take down one of the hexes by covering it in like nanites.
Yeah.
And then Jean Grey uses her powers to call Icarus, and they have like a really fun conversation.
Okay.
Where he's like, "Oh, I forgot how powerful you are, Jean." Anyway, she's like, "We need to stop this," and he's like, "That's fine. The hex are pretty powerful, but like, what you need to do is stop their power supply.
Yeah.
In order to that, you need to be able to target it." So that's when he goes off to do his plan, right?
Okay.
But like he basically says, "You can't kill any Eternals." She's like, "We'll do our best." And he's like, if you kill any Eternals, we will not help." He doesn't explain why. No one will explain why.
Okay.
To them yet. They're not quite ready for that. So it's just a big slugfest. We see, Iceman get really big. Sync is super useful in this instance.
Yeah.
Firestar is there, and like she has this moment when I can't remember if it's Cyclops or I think it's Magic is commanding part of the team. Right?
Oh, cool.
She's like, "We got to do this," and Firestar has this moment where she's like, "Wow, this is very much like Cap leading," and so she's finding maybe a tie to the team a little bit.
Oh, that's good, because I remember she was kind of like not feeling.
She really wasn't sure about this, but they put her on the team because Emma wanted to make up for her past transgressions. So essentially, they do get into the base and they take that down. So we're solving the what happened to the attack? I thought the Eternals were attacking on two different fronts. Well, Druig pulls back the hex anyway.
Okay.
The Mutants and X-Men team have found that spot, so they put a stop to it in their own way, and then we have also stopped the psychic attack just in time for the Celestial to pass judgment.
For the real problem.
So basically, it's like, hey, wait, they all just stopped attacking. Don't worry, this book explains how that kind of all went down anyway. So it's good. Like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the more to this.
Yeah.
It's not necessary.
But you don't need to read it.
You don't necessarily need to read it, in my opinion. But it is fun to read Gillen's work. I like his work. So if you like his writing in this, maybe you want to pick up the Death to Mutants issue just because.
Okay.
It's just more Gillen.
Right.
And it's
just more of the main book.
More of what his style of storytelling is. I love his cheekiness, his bit of sarcasm, but also couched in solid storytelling and, seriousness.
Yeah.
There's a cat hair on my lip.
Oh, that's gonna happen. Is that all your X-Men books?
Yeah, I'm all done.
All right, cool. Well, we have a couple of super chats to get to, and then we'll get into the next thing. But let's see here. Here we go.
Gotta gloss my lips.
Yeah, Tom says, "Hey guys, hope you're well. I got to sit in a lecture that Tom Taylor was taking last week at my university. Really cool guy. That's great.
Wow,
that's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah." I hope it was informative and educational. Tom Taylor's a nice guy. Dex Baker, this is for the hard work Danielle's putting in today. We got brigaded because we have the word She-Hulk in the title. So people are like, people can't win an argument, so they need to use bots to try and overwhelm an argument. If I make a place uninhabitable, then no one will have the conversation I don't want people to have. Adam Thenhouse says, I think...
but it takes two sides to have an argument, and I'm not having an argument.
Yeah, but I am all the time because I'm a miserable person. I think Jerkus is a circus made with denim. Keep them lights on.
I said Jerkus before because you said he's a circus jerk. And
he's a Jerkus. I apologize for not immediately gravitating towards that. But thank you, Adam. J.R. Gomez, Batman is 49 issues in November. What? Yeah, I saw that too. I saw that headline as well. I look forward to reading it when it happens. Yeah, they're saying in November there'll be 49 Bat books over a month span, probably. Yeah. The Derpiest of Derps. Hey guys, curious if you've been reading the White Knight finale, read the first issue, and I think it's a little bloated with characters. Honestly, I fell off that book after the first issue. I will read it eventually, but for now, it is not a high priority for me.
I realize now I'm just trade waiting for it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that seems like it is a book.
It's made for that anyway.
I really did enjoy that book.
Yeah, me too.
What I also don't want to do is I'm gonna have to pre-order it.
Yeah,
the trade so that I can show that I have interest in it.
Exactly.
So I need to do that.
Potassium to the Heart. Hello, thanks for a new Monday ritual. Listening and playing Civ 6 tonight.
Nice.
I haven't had time to read, but I did pick up on X-Men. I try to finish 9 out of 10 so we can talk about it. What is the next movie you'll see in theaters? I don't know. It really depends.
Probably Black Panther.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know if there's anything coming out between now and then.
I don't know. I'll have to look. I'm really falling off of like what's coming out like, in theaters right off the bat. I'll have to wait. But yeah. So let's see. Well, I read Savage Avengers #4.
You're like on this book now. I fell off.
Yeah, we'll see. David Pepose and Carlos Magno did the work, the heavy lifting on this issue. It continues the story of this unlikely team of Avengers, in the Hyborian Age, helping out Conan. Conan is kept as a hostage by Thulsa Doom to resurrect Set. They're still doing the Conan stuff. So I guess they have probably until the end of the arc to get off of the Conan stuff. Of course, they revealed that the Deathlock, who is the Terminator Predator that's been chasing them the whole time, is actually Miles Morales from the future, and they give you a flashback that explains to you what Miles was doing, how he became a Deathlock. Yeah, that's right, because Deathlock's just corpses that are made into like cyborgs.
Well, yeah, but I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, so this is Miles's corpse.
Miles.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, it's a fun issue. There a lot of like high flying action. I found two, not dings, but I was like, a lot of lines used from Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, interesting.
Just like shorthand, like let's just get this through to kind of like get you familiar with the character. But I was like, oh, I know that line. Oh, I know that line too. Oh, I know that line. Like a couple lines, I was like, oh, I recognize those lines. And I found that like the running commentary was a little too wordy.
That's weird coming from you.
Yeah. Well, it's just like I'm like, okay, yeah, you're giving me like some context and some background, but for the most part, like you can trust that I know what's happening. Like you're really it was a little distracting where you get like a lot of commentary and there's a lot happening on the page, and I'm like and the commentary doesn't necessarily, it's talking about something else or it's giving context. So I'm like, let me just read it.
Okay.
Let me just read the book. And that's what I did. I skipped all the commentary, just read the book, and the book reads normal and fine without the commentary. But if you read the commentary, it's like extra stuff. It's just like, it's more that gives you context for like what's going on and how it relates.
Right.
But I don't, you can, there could be a better balance struck with this book. I'm also not necessarily keen on the team as much as it's a fun idea, but I don't know if it like, there's like a funny team moment, but it's not the kind of team that I normally like. The team dynamic is they're in the past. They're unlikely. Most of them are stoic loners. So they're not like, and they're trying to accomplish one goal.
Right.
So like there's not a lot of moments for levity and camaraderie or character interactions, and there are a couple of those and they do work. So, we'll see where the book goes.
Okay.
But it's fine. Like it's a good issue. It's got a lot of fun characterization. Everybody is consistent and like it's going places, and I'm excited to see where it ends up. So, continue to read Savage Avengers if you enjoy like, trying new things with the Marvel universe.
By the way, yes, Gilgamesh is an Eternal.
Yeah.
No, he is. Wait.
Okay. You know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of Gorgon, I think, or the one who can stamp on things. Anyway. Alejandro Juarez, hey guys, any chance you've read Jeff Lemire's The Questions on the Death of Vic Sage on back issues, also loving Tiffany's hair?
Thank you.
I have read that, and it's is it Dennis Cowan who did it? I thought he wrote it. I wasn't sure, but I have read the Black Label Question book, and it's great. And I would do it if anyone would watch an episode about the Question. So yeah, any other books you read, Tiffany?
Nope.
Well, then let's talk about Batman. One Bad Day is an initiative from DC that is doing a series of prestige-bound one-shots that focus on one Batman villain, and I'm very happy that it is not one of those kinds of stories that I tend to remember from the 90s in which they were like, okay, this is a Riddler story, so it'll be about Riddler, and Batman won't be in it.
Right.
I'm like, no, it's a Batman book, and it is Batman versus the Riddler.
Yeah, out of the gate, I wish they had done the lockup on the logo a little differently. I wish they had separated the Batman One Bad Day to make it like that's really the title.
That's the title of the book.
And then it's like the Riddler number
Yeah.
one. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
Like, I just wish they had made this so that there was like a branding on it, like
There is-
Detective Comics almost.
There's an interesting situation that DC is going on because you're not the first person that I saw complain about the logo, or at least criticize the fact the logo isn't really demonstrating the title.
Right.
All of the logos at DC are done by one person.
Right, and like they typically do a great job.
They typically do, but
A good job.
they do a good job.
Yeah.
But when you have one person,
Yeah.
you're going to get you're going to get some like hegemony, and you're going to get stuff like this. This looks a lot like the Killing Joke cover. There's a thing like that on the on the Killing Joke. I think it's like the credits on the Killing Joke cover. Obviously, they want you to make you think this.
Sure.
Right off the bat, no pun intended.
Wait, by the way, you could pull it up there if you want.
Oh yeah,
so
that's
that
right.
Everybody could see it.
That's fair.
As well.
Right off the bat, no pun intended. This concept of doing a prestige-bound one-shot initiative from DC Comics is a step in the right direction. A very heavy, strong,
Yes.
fantastic step in the right direction. The printing on this is fantastic. Doing a perfect bound issue from one of the big two, fantastic. This is the kind of shit that DC is known for.
The printing on this is almost better than some of the trades they've been putting out.
No, the printing on this is better than some of the trades.
Well,
they've been
I
putting
would
out.
say like the
I would say
paper's fine.
It's better than some of the hardcovers they've put out. $40 books are cheaper than this $8 comic you can pick up. And I would advise you do. I also am excited because this is a book that is divisive in that it has two very, very strongly different reactions. And despite that, the book can exist and stand on its own.
Yep.
And two people can disagree, but it doesn't devalue the work, and it should not sway your opinion, and should only inform your decision to pick it up. But superficially speaking, this is the right way to go.
Oh yeah.
DC, Marvel, IDW,
Yes.
Image, but more importantly, DC. DC normally used to be, in between the big two, a leader in publishing initiatives, especially when it came to printing and labels and prints. This is the right decision. Yay.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Getting a top tier. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was like, just, having here, you can just pick this up and there's something to be said, even if it's like $8. There's something to be said for knowing that it's like, I can pick this one up and then I'm good. Or I could pick up another one. I don't have to worry about do I want to commit to having another title in my pull list? Do I want to commit to not knowing if the series or the story is going to be worth it
or canceled
or canceled? You know what I mean? To get 3 issues in, which at that point you're $12 in to find out you don't like it. No, here's the story. It's $8. You live or die by this. And you know that maybe the next one you might like better because there's a different creative team on it. It has very much sort of Legends of the Dark Knight, but just all here ready to go.
Yes.
I love that.
It is that, hang on a second.
Okay. By the way, thank you everybody so much for all of your very kind compliments to my hair. It's very nice. Thank you. I was a little nervous about it, so I very much appreciate the support there. While Sal's getting that, I do want to just point out that I definitely wish that the logo was a little different. There are a lot about it that I appreciate, but I just wish they had separated the Batman One Bad Day into its own little lockup as the main focus of it.
Here's a small example of what DC used to do that reminds me of this. Batman Joker Switch, prestige bound, 64 pages, tells you the whole damn thing. Batman Ego, celebrated. It's Robert Pattinson's Batman story. Elseworlds book, The Golden Streets of Gotham. Again, prestige bound, short, but just long enough to be a whole damn story. Here's an intercompany crossover, Batman Planetary. I think this is actually one of a multiple number of issues. But Batman the Abduction, they just printed these. These are books you can pick up. Hell, the last time I remember them doing it was when Frank effing Miller wrote them. When it was Dark Knight Returns, The Last Crusade, and they did this random book that was from J.R. Jr. and everything.
Yeah.
This isn't a trade. This is a trade. It's not a prestige bound, but Also, pick up Batman Predator. It's one of the best intercompany crossovers of all time. But yeah, like this is what they used to do. Look at the years. Like, what is this? This one's like got to be 90, 93, 98, 2003.
At some point.
Yeah, I don't recall.
2003.
There you go, 2003. This has got to be 2002, 2003 as well. But yeah, like late 90s, early 2000s, DC was doing stuff, and these could all be sold in bookstores or on newsstands. It doesn't, or both. What a great idea. Of course, by then, newsstand comics were gone, but like still, this is the right direction.
Not that everything should be this.
No, but like these are not everything. This is, yeah. In any case, so and getting top creators, getting creators who get asses in seats, essentially.
Right, but also like you're more willing, and I think you're. I don't know this for sure. This is a guess. I feel like you're going to have a better shot at getting these like top brass to commit to doing this than committing to do like a ongoing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I want you to do this ongoing for like, you know, for Batman or for the Riddler or for like this other character. And it's like, I may not have that, but I have like this story.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and people want like easy to grab one-shot stories that basically summarize or give you a gist of a character or a villain, you know?
Yeah.
And Riddler's a great start because there are 3 decent Riddler stories. I'm being hyperbolic. Actually, one of them was a prestige-bound book from like 1996 or 7. It was when Batman Forever came out.
Right.
And I have that. We almost did it on back issues. It's from Matt Wagner.
That's right.
And DeMatteis, I believe. No, DeMatteis did the Two-Face one. In any case, that's the way to go. And getting like major creators today's creators. Although I'm going to put this out there because I think you agree with me. J.M. DeMatteis found a 25-year-old Doctor Strange one-shot 45-page pitch.
I was like, just do it. Just put it
and it is such a great idea.
Well, like, for me, I'm like, that's just like printing Neil Gaiman's, or not Neil Gaiman's. No, it was Neil. Wasn't it?
What?
Who? Green Flame?
Oh, that was Gaiman.
Yeah, that was Gaiman. Okay, yeah. I'm like, wait, yes.
Yeah.
But like, they found the script and they just put it together and they just put it out there, and like, it's not in continuity. It's just, it exists. You know what I mean? It's like, just do that. Just take older scripts that people might have shoved in a drawer somewhere and like give them new life.
Yeah, exactly. Like, these are books people would have read then, would read now. Put them out. So yeah, One Bad Day. I know it has a name. We're just going to call it One Bad Day Riddler because that's what it is. It's Batman One Bad Day Riddler. Now, a couple of dings. Oh no, before we do that, I think Mitch Gerard's art is just as good as it ever was on this. Like, it's not like he missed a step, but I'm not saying it's better than Mr. Miracle because I think they're both equally. This is as good as Mr. Miracle. Like, it's excellent. Mitch Gerard. If you like Mitch Gerard's art, you're gonna love this book.
Yeah,
because it's all on display.
Dreadful Reigns.
Yes, Dreadful Reigns. But Gerard's full stop. It's great. His iconic depictions of all the characters. New depiction of Riddler, but like whatever. At least he's not wearing an open shirt with a scar of a question mark.
Yeah.
Gordon, old Gordon.
Yep.
So immediately you're like, oh, it's out of continuity. Right? Like, it has to be. But even if it isn't, who gives a shit? Like, the point is, it can or it can't be. Like Killing Joke was. And that's where we get into some dicey territory, because the fact that this logo looks like the credits logo for Killing Joke says to me, they want you to think Killing Joke.
Yeah.
DC, someone at DC, but at the very least, on some level.
It's not just the logo, it's the title.
Oh, the title comes from Killing Joke.
The title, the logo.
The title, the logo, the concept itself the Killing Joke is a definitive Joker story. This is a definitive Riddler story with the same damn stuff. And Killing Joke is referenced in it.
Yeah.
So it's like, even if you are meant to subconsciously think of Killing Joke, they actively make you think of Killing Joke in the narrative. Damn.
Yeah.
It's a damn shame. You could just let it be guilty by association by having it be a prestige-bound, one-shot, definitive Riddler story, and not have all the trappings that make you think of Killing Joke. You don't need to trick your audience into buying it because it looks and sounds like Killing Joke. You trust your audience they'll buy it, or
Right.
trust the new audience because they'll buy it because this is a damn good looking and I think good book.
Mhm.
But get rid of all the Killing Joke shit. But the reference to Killing Joke says to me, it's part of, for me, the narrative that I like about this.
Mhm.
What do you think?
What of what you just said?
No, this or share your thoughts. Continue the show from your
Well,
from
you
your
didn't
vantage
say what
point.
you thought of it.
I loved it. I
Okay.
thought it was like not brilliant.
Uh-huh.
You know, it wasn't like, oh, bravo. I liked it. I
Yeah.
liked it a lot, and it did a lot that I enjoy from not only a Batman story but from a Riddler story. Riddler is tough because you have to be a genius to tell his stories because he's a genius. So if you're not a genius and you still want to do a Riddler story, he either has to be like, he has to be a scumbag, or he has to be suddenly this time he's not being Riddler, you
Mhm.
know. And it's tough, you know, but I think this is a better Riddler than we got in War Jokes and Riddles. I think
Okay.
there's a better, you know, I think there's a better Tom King Riddler. I think
Mhm.
King has like evolved in his
Mhm.
Riddler depictions, but I loved it. For me, it's not cartoon Riddler. John Glover's Riddler is still
No,
number
and, like,
one, A tier.
I don't expect to
S
ever see
tier.
that in a comic ever.
I don't
at this
think we
point.
will ever see it. I know
Uh,
we will, but like, you know, it'll be written by a 50-year-old who remembers that cartoon show. But honestly,
Has he been in White Knight yet?
Riddler?
Yeah, because that's where you'd see him.
I mean, even if he was, he'd be like ancient.
Yeah.
But I don't remember if he's in White Knight. Even if he was, he's not part of the story.
Yeah.
Like you would only get away with it for a minute.
Yeah.
But that's why there's only 2 good Riddler episodes of that show, by the way, because it's like it's hard to do.
Yeah.
But I like the depiction of Riddler. Riddler in this is a piece of shit, and
Yeah.
more important, he represents to me like the dangers of perceived intelligence. I think that Riddler considers his the version that you see here considers his intelligence a like excuse or a right, like a pass. Because I'm smart, that makes me better than you. Because my intelligence is better than yours. Because I'm smarter than you, I'm allowed to do things. It gives me permission to bypass etiquette or sanity.
Mm.
And like, I don't think he is insane. I think he's just a raging asshole. And it's worse because Batman like earns his intelligence, right? Or Batman like trains and studies, but there's little moments in this issue that for me say that Riddler is not only an like he is an asshole in every respect. Like he thinks that something that he was given, that he, like, you know, because he was born with his intelligence, like he's naturally gifted to be smart.
Mm.
He thinks that somehow entitles him
Mm.
to skirt or break the rules. But then you also see that he's not the smartest person, because Mr. Cartier from Welcome Back, Carter, Welcome Back, Cotter. That's the teacher. He just looks like Mr. Cotter from Welcome Back, Cotter.
Okay.
But like his teacher
Uh-huh.
is at the very least better at him than with riddles. Like he can stump Riddler even at a young age. But for me, he needs to cheat in order to get it right.
Okay.
And if Riddler cheats, then he's a phony. And so there's things that he says throughout this book that say to me that he is a phony. He is deeply insecure, and he like knows that he needs to put on like the fact that there is a reference to Killing Joke in this, and that if we are to believe him, ruins Killing Joke, or not ruins it, but it hurts Killing Joke, because in it he suggests that he gave Joker the idea to attack Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
No, just no. Of course not. Joker is not one to take suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly not from a derivative character like the Riddler, at least in the Joker's perspective. But Riddler's like, but if I say that, I know I will upset him, and that's what I want. So Riddler's a liar. And like, there are so many moments in this where I'm like, you are such a liar. But then there's other moments where, of course, it's undercut by like the reveal, right? Like, that like people die because they cross him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, it's like, yeah, no, he's a good planner and he's reasonably intelligent. but he is not like he's not like a 12th level intellect. Like he's not smarter than Lex Luthor. You know, he's just an asshole who uses like maybe he's a better person reader than he is like, you know, a mentalist. You know, like he can read people, and he has a photographic memory.
Okay,
but that's it. You know, but that's it. So I liked it because it shows this like deeply flawed person who is so desperate to be accepted and liked and to be given like, but also thinks that he doesn't have to work as hard for like the things he gets, but also like hilariously works clearly desperately hard on those things. Like, you know, it takes so much work to be the Riddler and to have all these advantages over people. And it's like, you know, if you just got out of your own way, like the teacher says, basically, you'd be way better at this. So I thought it was a really nice character study. And it has to be out of continuity, obviously, for a number of reasons. And I like the desperation that the book conveys. There's a real sense of desperation in here where it's like at the end, because it's working. Like Riddler's deception, I think, is working on people, and that's it. Just, you know, to the point where Batman makes his decision at the end, and I'm like, I like that moment where I'm like, I like the moments where I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen,
right?
And I'm backed as a reader into a corner to assume or to figure out what's happening, and I can't. And then to be given an ending is like very rewarding to me. But that, you know, and I don't know about that ending, but we'll talk about it.
Okay.
So how do you feel about it?
I really didn't care for it.
I know, yeah.
At all. I appreciate that it's, you know, put together,
right,
and it's a beginning, middle, and end, but like it just didn't connect with me at all. And like before, it's like, well, you just don't like this or other thing.
Well, you didn't get it.
I really like, you know, dark.
Yeah, no.
things.
Tiffany's a big Sandman fan. She didn't not get it. It's
so it has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
What I really didn't like was how it felt like Tom King trying to do his own killing joke, especially with the ending. With a lot of it, I was like, yeah, okay. Like yeah, I saw the ending coming a mile away, where I was like, okay,
yeah.
Like, you have no other options. So
you had a very interesting criticism about it.
You always set me up for these things. I don't remember what I said. Like
you said
10 minutes ago.
You said this felt like it was an assignment.
Yes, it did. It literally felt like they came up with the premise. They're like, it's gonna be called One Bad Day.
Yeah, like, listen, Tom, we need you to write a killing joke for Riddler.
Yeah,
go.
So do that. Go do it. And scene.
Yeah.
Like that's what it felt like to me. Less like he had this passion project, and more like they wanted him to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And he was happy to do it.
I could go either way on that.
He likes really working in this world. Honestly, I have a very different take on
the Riddler,
this character, than what you described was in this book.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No. This isn't a cautionary tale of like perceived intelligence. This is a cautionary tale of like, don't be a dick to your kids.
Right.
And like
bad parenting.
Bad parenting, and also like the teacher. The Riddler learns that like at a young age that like what he needs to do is to like memorize and
regurgitate
and test take.
Yes.
And the teacher's like, that's not what you need to do. You need to be able to apply that learning.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, so he fails at that, but like this teacher also, like whatever time period this happens in, also doesn't like understand the idea of mental health. Like he clearly doesn't see any of the signs that this kid is being abused.
Right.
And so I'm like, you're a bad teacher.
Well, it's more like,
and like,
or he's just a teacher in contemporary times. Like, I'm not getting paid enough to give a shit.
Right. Well, no, but he does.
But he does. He desperately cares about this kid.
He desperately cares about him. And he's just like, yeah, no, I know you cheated. Because like, this is the thing. It's like, it's not that he's better at him that riddles. This character, like this child, doesn't understand them or like their purpose. No authority
and so,
figure. Like, it's so funny that like it's like the whole Jason Todd. He embraced the crowbar because of like it's like he embraced the riddle.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm like,
yeah, that's the mark of a dipshit or of deeply. Right. A deeply broken person.
Right. Like, but like that's not quite what you were describing.
No,
I'm like, this is
he becomes a piece of shit. Like we can pity him when he's a child.
Yes.
Because he's a victim.
Yes.
Even when he murders his teacher. Like
yeah,
it's sad.
Like, and that's what it is. Like I know because again, this is another thing where it is like Killing Joke. We see
his past.
The past, right? And in the past, it's like I really did feel for him.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Like in Killing Joke, like I really do
connect
with
with the comedian.
Yeah, with the comedian. I feel not connect, but like I'm like I
get it.
I get it.
Yeah.
What you did afterwards, it doesn't.
Well, that's why we need to throw away the One Bad Day name because, and you could tell, like, I think that King hates the One Bad Day.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
Because he named it, because he did give it a title.
No, he did.
But the One Bad Day thing, it's not one bad day.
It's like, many days.
It's many years.
It's like lots of time.
It's lots of time. No,
it's
like
not, it doesn't live up to the assignment
right.
anyway.
And also, like, even if it was the assignment, that blows. Like, what do you mean? All of Batman's villains can be traced back to one terrible day? No, that sucks. They're all Joker. But I don't think. And I saw somebody in the comments of one of our videos said something like, "Oh, they made Riddler into the Joker." I don't think that's true.
In this?
Yeah. He doesn't come across to me as the Joker in this.
No.
God, those Batman pages.
No, the Batman pages are great.
Aren't they so good? Fuck.
They're great looking. But yeah, like, you know, the teacher puts himself in this position where it's like the kid cheats, right? And it's like
you could tell.
And then he's like, I'm gonna tell. I have to tell on you. And I'm like,
you idiot.
He
can't see murder when it's like 2 feet from his face.
And it's not, I don't even think it's an idiot. That to me, in particular, because we're talking about a teacher who's teaching him to take knowledge and apply it to situations, that just felt like King needed this to happen.
Right.
Like, that did not feel natural for this character.
See, I bought that scene. I was like, yeah, no, this teacher his head is so far up his own ass. Like, we're seeing it. If we were to assume anything about Tom King, it's like he thinks the Dead Poet Society is fucking stupid.
Oh, sure. No,
right? Like that, is that one of the...
I get that. Like,
oh, yeah, like we're going to... like, listen, it's for your own good. Any teacher... I remember being a kid and struggling and having, like, some self-righteous dickhead. Like, be like, you earned this D+. And even though it's going to, like, result in a miserable time for you, like, you'll be better for it. Is a self-righteous knob.
Yeah.
I don't have any sympathy for a teacher who says that.
Yeah.
Like, you're not teaching a lesson. Like, it's not your responsibility to do that, you know? Like, especially when it's like a test or, you know, it's not like especially if you can tell that the student isn't like a monster. You know, he's not trying, like, he doesn't know. He clearly doesn't understand him well enough to recognize that he is a victim of abuse. If he were, he'd be more lenient. Or he's trying to teach him, like, no, you're smart, so you can, like, use your intelligence to break free of this. No, his boss is the abuser. And he's like, and he doesn't know that telling him that his son cheated will result in more further abuse. But like, he doesn't understand that.
I would say, like, and that's why I think it's also garbage, because that is his boss, and there's no way that guy's a pleasant man to work for.
Right.
So there's nothing that will, even if he doesn't know he's being abused.
No, that's just,
he knows that there's nothing that will come of this.
No, that's just a self-righteous teacher.
No,
he believes in what he says.
I know you
but he
think
doesn't care about where it's going.
I'm just telling you, there's nothing in this that indicates that.
Right.
His teacher like makes that choice, and I'm like,
you idiot.
I'm like, not even you idiot. I'm like, okay,
right,
sure, you did that because it had to happen, so the next thing can happen.
Yeah,
that's what that felt like to me. 100%.
I buy it.
Okay,
but like that's interpretation. But you know, yes, Akbar, you're missing something. Anyway, continuing on.
Wow, what?
Yeah, give me a break.
No, I meant you.
I'm sorry, I'm just.
But yeah, so like, you know, like at the end of this, obviously, like I was like, okay, well, you have no other option. This is how this is going to end.
Yeah.
So I guess this is clearly not continuity.
No,
so, like, and that's fine.
Well,
like,
Gordon's so old. Like, that's good. That's killing joke Gordon.
Yeah. It was. You know, I have no problem with the Riddler going dark. It's something I always thought I wanted to see.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure it's something I really wanted to see. It turns out, or maybe I just haven't seen executed in what my brain really wanted.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like we've seen it like dark in the Batman, and I just felt like that character wasn't quite the Riddler. It was kind of something else. Like they made something else in the Batman.
Oh, that's
the movie.
Yeah, that's not Riddler either. It's funny. The Riddler is one of those characters that's like really hard to pin down in all of media.
Yeah. And then this one again, we like it. It's interesting. Like again, I'm trying so hard to separate myself from this one bad day, because like the one bad day needs.
Oh, I know. It
really should be the moment that he decides to do the heel turn.
Right.
In this.
Yeah, but and that could be one way to interpret it, right? Is like they all have one bad day, like that. But well, there's like years of abuse that leads to it.
No, but I'm saying like the one bad day in theory for this book is the day he stops being the Riddler and becomes what he becomes in this.
Right.
And,
Yeah,
like, we
because he's
don't-
not Riddler at the end.
but-
yeah.
Like he's not Riddler at the beginning of this.
Well, that's true.
You know, like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like
because he's already decided
clearly something has happened.
Right, we don't even see what it. Well, no, it's the mother thing. That's what tricks him. Like, that's what changes him.
I guess, but we don't really see that.
No, that's the one thing we don't see, and it's interesting. Yeah, but I did like it. Like, I liked the way the mother situation happened, where he's like, "All I wanted, like, that's the one riddle I couldn't solve," and it could be that that's what makes it all comes crashing down. He's like, "The one riddle I couldn't solve was like my mother and why, like what resulted in my life."
Right.
And it's like, and then I realized I don't really care, like, or it doesn't matter anymore. And so I robbed myself of that answer because it doesn't really even matter. Like, you know, it's that kind of where it's like, I'm not the Riddler anymore.
Yeah. So it's like, this is about the Riddler, but it's also kind of not. It's because the Riddler is not what he becomes at the end.
Yeah.
Like, he's definitely
something else.
Yes.
But he doesn't have like a name. It's not like he becomes like a new villain or anything.
No. But like, you know, the Riddler like conjures the idea of someone who, you know, plagues Batman with riddles and takes over, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and he references them, and he talks about how
what
he's
he
like,
is in this. So
well,
it's
because
like,
it's hard to write for the Riddler,
right,
so we gotta make him something else.
I get it. You know what it is? Like, it's not even like it's bad writing.
No,
like at all. Like I recognize that. I can look at this objectively and go like, I mean, like, yeah, it's it's well written.
Yes.
It is a little edgy at times, needlessly.
Right. I saw somebody say that I remember somebody complaining the same way, where they were like, I almost cut myself on the edge, and I was like, really? I didn't think it was that edgy. Like,
the shark thing.
The shark thing, I was like, that's yeah, but at the same time, I didn't find that like out of bounds. I was like, yeah, it's just, well, because Batman's not pushed to the limit, but he's like,
but he's really not, because Batman goes from like, I don't care,
right,
to that.
Well, that is King's Batman.
Like,
it's why I don't like King's Batman normally, because
it's
it's like King's Batman is a character who's like, who's like, when he calls Riddler an idiot on the basketball court, I was like, yes, okay. Like, Batman's already figured. Like, Batman has a plan for Riddler. He's already figured it out.
No.
And then it's like, no, he's just saying what he thinks Batman should say.
No,
like,
he's saying that because his dad said that about him, and I thought that was going to go.
Oh, you think
somewhere.
He's using his father's words in him?
I thought that was going somewhere.
That'd
with
be
that,
interesting.
And like, he just dropped the ball there.
I
like,
thought that was.
There's the panel. He says, "My son is an idiot,"
Yes.
and then we're on the basketball court, and he's like,
"You're an idiot,"
and I'm like,
yeah, no.
Oh, we're gonna go back to the no. Oh, okay.
That's a real shame.
What was the point of having that conversation?
Right.
So like, I think that's what it was. It was like there was a lot of like interesting stuff in this, but like this just didn't coalesce for me at the end as like something that I'm like, yeah, like maybe it's something I'll revisit down the line and give it another shot and like,
that's fair.
re-examine it, because like I do like a lot of like King's minis and like his maxi series and stuff like that. So it's like I feel like there's something here.
Yeah.
I just like it wasn't for me.
That's fair.
It just wasn't for me. And
no, yeah, totally.
And like I said, like I had a very different interpretation of
the
Riddler as a child and that teacher. Like,
yeah,
no, and, like and the relationship with his father. It's like there's a lot here.
It's like everyone in this book is stupid. Like, everyone in this book is really smart, but also misses the biggest thing in front of them.
And like poor Gordon.
I know. That's so frustrating because you see that too. Like that happened already. Like, he'd used that already. That's anything.
Yes.
And I was like, oh man.
Yes.
Yeah, he used that in his Riddler story.
I have seen that before.
Yeah, you've seen that in 2 different books. First Tom King, then Scott Snyder did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did that already. It's rough. But like,
it also made me think of Rick's car.
Yeah. All can be. Yeah. All can be returned.
Like, yeah, we definitely saw that, and like I couldn't pinpoint where, but I was like, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
there was a level there where I'm like, like it's at that point there would have been no reason that those guards wouldn't have shot him.
Right. Yeah. Why wouldn't you kill him?
They all shoot each other.
Right. Come on. You're going to kill your colleague and not this guy? No, I agree with that. That was one of those things. A
couple of things that I was like, okay, I got to suspend my disbelief here to get through this book. Sure.
Yes, you do. I'm glad that this team only did this one book. The rest of them are all done by different creative teams, and so you're going to get very different interpretations. I feel like if this was an assignment, they would only get worse, because
sure, and I don't think it was an assignment. It just read like one, and I think that's the issue. So it's fair. Like I don't truly believe that they were like they pitched it to him.
Yeah,
like I'm sure he had this idea, or like maybe they had this thought to do these like
those one shots,
perfect bound one shots, and he's like, I have a story, and they went from there. It just kind of read more like an assignment than I was expecting. Like I just didn't feel the connection like I typically do to Tom King's work. When I like it. So
that's fair.
I was like, yeah, all right, not for me.
I wish that
it's a pass for me.
I wish that Batman were more clever in this.
Yeah, he's just a brute.
Yeah, that's King's Batman. Like King's Batman for me is too human in that he is like, he screws up a lot and he says like the wrong things, and he's like, so concerned with being Batman or looking like Batman.
Yeah.
That like he fails to actually be Batman.
The shotgun sequence was spectacular.
Oh yeah,
like, that was so like.
And I like the lines, like what he says to him about like his mercy and patience. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty sweet.
A lot of the art makes up for this for me. I would say though, like it is a pass for me, but like Sal liked it so much, I'm willing to bet that like. There's something there, and I think
no.
And I do think a lot of people do like it. And I'm not saying like I have to find it now. I'm just saying it didn't connect for me. But something like this that generates this much conversation, I always think is worth a read anyway.
Totally.
Because it that's the point of art.
Yeah,
is to generate conversation. So
that's true. That's true.
That's where I'm at with this one. I had such high hopes for this.
I know,
and I didn't go into it though necessarily with like huge expectation. I just picked it up and I read it, and honestly I was a few pages in, and like I know you came out, you're like, where are you? I'm like, I'm here, and I'm like, I'm not loving this.
Yeah.
And you're like, uh-oh.
Well, you're not gonna like it then.
So there you go, guys. That was Batman the Riddler, or Batman One Bad Day, the Riddler, Dreadful Reigns. Lay's onion flavored Funyun onion whatever rings.
Yeah. So let's jump into She-Hulk.
Yeah.
We saw the first episode of She-Hulk, which the latest effort from the Marvel Cinematic Universe is here. She-Hulk Attorney at Law. I know that they build
Attorney at Law.
They build it as a kind of as a sitcom. I don't know if I got that necessarily right off the bat, but like, yeah, I kind of get it. It is written, or it's created / showrun by Jessica Gao, and it stars Tatiana Maslany as She-Hulk herself, and it also includes characters that you would expect. And as I understand it, each episode in an 8-episode series, or 8 or 9, is going to have like different like aspects, characters, cameos from the Marvel universe. Which I'm like, that's what She-Hulk is. Let's do it.
Right.
Initial thoughts on She-Hulk: I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I don't think I liked it more than any of my favorite Marvel shows so far, but I do like it better than the shows that I did not. And I don't think it is and it certainly isn't the lowest show in the shows I do enjoy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I enjoyed WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, Ms. Marvel, Loki, and this is not like the lowest of them. I enjoyed it. That said, I have some gripes, but they are not the kind of gripes that I'm sure would get us more subscribers if we had them.
Right.
What about you?
I feel like I can't judge this show yet. I don't believe that this first episode was what the show is going to really be like necessarily. This felt like something they decided they needed to do. So I think I'm going to wait to episode 2 to make a judgment call on how I feel about this show, because I was like, it was fine, but like, I'll be honest, I was like, I don't think this is necessarily the tone. I mean, the tone is there. Yeah. But like, I think
this is not what the show's going to be like.
I don't know. It's just the vibe I got, and I could be completely wrong. But I want to at least give it to episode 2 before I make a judgment on whether or not I'm enjoying it or not.
That's fair. I think that Maslany plays a fun She-Hulk. She doesn't get to do much. It's mostly just her bouncing off of Bruce. But her portrayal is not inconsistent with what I know Jen Walters to be. I'm excited to see her in the courtroom, despite the fact that the writers on the show have admitted that they have no predilection for writing courtroom scenes, and as such have decided to avoid them as much as possible, which is frustrating for a person who said there weren't enough courtroom scenes in Daredevil.
Yeah.
Especially since Daredevil will be a member of the cast in this show. And that does not bode well for the Disney Plus debut of Daredevil, which will be like 108 episodes.
That's not true. It just means that those are not like maybe those writers.
Those writers won't be working on Daredevil. Stay away from Daredevil then.
Just grab some of those Law and Order guys.
Yeah,
there's like a million of them.
Right? There's plenty. But,
I don't really know. There's a lot of shows though.
Exactly. But I'm disappointed that the show didn't have like extra episodes. Like normally, you know, they'll drop like 1 or 2, maybe to give you a tone. Because the first episode, like we said, like I don't think it really set the tone. So they should have had another one to give you like, oh, that's what the show is going to be like. You know, like if WandaVision had just been the one episode, it'd been like, what the fuck?
I would not have. I would have been like, okay.
Well, yeah, we liked it. Well, especially because it was the first one.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was like, I thought there was gonna be a second one. I was like, all right, we'll check out this. Oh no, we're not.
Oh no, that's it. Oh, okay, cool.
There was some fun stuff in there. You know, we had to do an origin. We're doing like we're doing more Deadpool than The Office.
Yeah, I like that. I'm glad of that. You know, I don't want The Office. I don't want.
Well, I mean, like we're breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah,
but like directly to us.
But that's what She-Hulk does in the comics.
Okay,
or at least she used to.
Okay,
and I would like that. No, I like that a lot. That's very much in keeping with the character. And I like that, you know, the other characters don't know what she's doing.
Right.
That's exactly the kind of fourth wall breaking that we come to hope for in this. Even in like Deadpool, we don't get reactions to Deadpool doing it. It's mostly Deadpool being like Zach Morris, being like time out, and then does a reference. But like in this, I like that she's doing it in real time.
Yeah.
That's really fun.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful for the show. I do like She-Hulk as a character. I think she's a terrific Avenger. I like the idea of her being a reluctant protagonist. That's always fun. You know, rejecting the hero's journey, so to speak. I'm going to get back to my regular life, and then but you know, that's what the show is going to be about, her doing superhero law and stuff like that. So that's fine with me. I like that too.
But there's just something about this first episode that felt like maybe this wasn't supposed to be the first episode.
No, I think it was.
I think
yes.
There was something about it that I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's called Disney plus Marvel shows. Where you're like, oh, that's almost really great. But there's something kind of wrong with it.
I mean, like, it seemed like they might have had a different first episode for a bit, and then they were like, do the origin. People want to see Bruce. They're going to want to get an idea of where this is without having to, like, question or, like, who she is if they don't know who she is.
Right, exactly.
So.
But yeah, what was it? Let's talk about the about Hulk a little bit.
Sure.
Those were the scenes I was like, that was fun, and then it just kept going, and I'm like, I'm done with this. Like with Hulk in Mexico, and like I'm done here. Like you got, and then that was the episode. I'm like, oh, this is the episode.
I thought we were going to be like, I thought since she'd already broken the fourth wall that she was going to break the fourth wall in her own thing and be like, you get the idea, and then go back to the rest of the episode.
Yeah, that would be.
But no. I think they really were like, get as much Mark Ruffalo in this as possible to make that strong connection, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, which I do appreciate in as much as I buy their chemistry.
I do too.
Because Jen and Bruce have always been cousins, and I remember just being like, I'm not really close with all my cousins. Like, I don't know why. Like, they treat it like their brother and sister in the comics. Like, it's very much like they're really close. And I don't know. I just was like, I never bought it, you know, as a kid reading the comics. I was like, oh, okay. Like, I guess just really close, you know, as far as cousins go.
Yeah.
In this, it didn't really, like, the cousin thing didn't matter, but like, I bought their relationship.
Right.
I was like, oh, cool. Like, especially because you're going to get criticism like, She-Hulk, what a derivative idea. It's a female Hulk.
Right.
And oh, she's his cousin. That's pretty lame. It's like, it's a 50-year-old character. Like, it's been long established. But I think it worked. And I think Bruce being in it and Mark Ruffalo carrying over, it did. This was the most, like, I hope this is the most MCU, not MCU, but like work heavy episode.
Yeah.
Like they needed to set up Hulk and get him someplace else.
Sure.
That, like, because, you know, that there's that confusing Shang-Chi scene.
Can I hold?
Oh, please.
A bunch of people in the chat are saying it actually was not supposed to be the first episode.
Oh, was it really? Oh, that's funny. Well, what the fuck episode would this be?
Someone's saying they're episode 8.
What?
But they decided to switch it because, like she said, it
was just confusing.
We wouldn't make it to the end.
Good. All right.
Like, no, but that's why I'm like, this feels weird.
Then it is weird.
It's wrong.
That's great. Okay, good. Because
that's why I'm like, I'm really trying to hold my judgment because I don't feel like I got an accurate idea of what the show is going to be.
Yeah,
so
that's funny.
I'm holding off.
That's exactly what it is. Also, you know,
I'm going to circle back around to this next week, and we'll talk about episode 2 for sure. But
totally. I didn't mind the CG. I got to the root of it. About the issues that people are having, I think, and it's the fact that the animation on the hair is non-existent. Like your hair is just like a JPEG.
Yeah. But I mean,
it doesn't move.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
I mean,
better
like,
when it's up.
It's funny though, because a lot of times in comics it doesn't.
Well, it doesn't. It's not gonna. But like that's why we buy it, because you don't need to see it move.
I know.
But hair is important. It's one of those uncanny valley things. Like you need the hair to move. But yeah, I liked it. I think she looked good. like she's cool. She looks cool. She looks like She-Hulk. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really thankful it's not like she's Savage She-Hulk. She's not like Gray She-Hulk. Like, I'm glad. I wanted, John Byrne, Dan Slott She-Hulk, and that's what we got.
Right.
And I'm like, cool. And I want to see more of that.
Mm-hmm.
And if it needs to be a little, if it's not movie quality, but it's good enough, and she's She-Hulk for most of the show,
mm-hmm.
then I don't give a shit.
Right.
because what I don't want is, one of those half measure like 90s 2000s comic book movies.
Right.
Where it's like, well, obviously Wolverine will never wear an outfit. That would be stupid.
Yeah.
Obviously She-Hulk, we can't make She-Hulk be She-Hulk in every episode.
Mm-hmm.
We have to have like 4 episodes in a row where she loses her powers or something. Like, I'm very okay with that not being a thing.
Yeah. I kind of wish they had taken this origin and spread it out over episodes.
I'm glad we didn't.
Like,
because we're done.
You just check in occasionally. Yeah. I think that would have been better paced.
Oh, definitely.
And it would have, like, first episode, you would have been like, this is what the show is going to be. And it's like, oh, cool.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, totally.
Like, I'm afraid that, like, episode 2 is going to be just about her and, like, the legal side of it and, like, her fighting. And it's going to be so different than this origin.
No, it's going to be. But I think that'll be a welcome change.
I hope so for a lot of people because, like, I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, I also thought the show was, like, not very well shot.
It was okay. There definitely were, but again, we're talking about flashbacks. Like,
right. Who knows what the hell this show
what the show's gonna really look like? I don't.
If it is a sitcom, it'll be shot hopefully like a sitcom,
right,
probably more like Ally McBeal,
and
where
don't
it's like
forget
an actual.
too, a lot of those flashbacks we're dealing with 2 CG characters as opposed
weren't
to
even there.
like occasionally she's herself.
Yes,
but like in the real show, it's gonna be more real people there.
Yeah.
So
no,
I think it's gonna have a very different feel.
I agree
to it.
Yeah, but it was there were moments where I'm like it's the Disney Plus Marvel effect now, where like every show I'm like,
yeah,
man,
there's sometimes, yeah. I am glad they also addressed the arm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I'm glad they hand wavy because I was like, that arm. I remember them talking about like after Endgame, they were like, oh no, he's changed. His arm is ruined, and I'm like, that's what everybody wants. If I can name 2 things that everybody wants in the MCU, it's a one-armed Hulk and a Thor with a daughter. Everybody wants those things. Instead, I genuinely expected them to explain it in as much as maybe he has like a kind of like his messed up arm, and when he eventually does go into Savage Hulk, he just gets bigger and the arm heals.
Oh,
just that, like, when he gets more Hulk, his arm heals.
He just uses.
He's like, no, I just used your shit and I made my arm heal. I'm like, fine.
This is quantum technology.
I'm just like, fine, as long as Gamma. Like,
I know,
but no, I know.
You can't just use quantum.
No, but that's why we're using Gamma. I'm taking that thing and I'm spinning it around.
Oh, okay, because it sounds like you just corrected.
No, but yeah, no, I'm glad they did that because I don't want to fucking wait any longer. Because I don't want to dwell in it.
Yeah.
Because Marvel, as much as we give a lot of kudos to the MCU for like planning and stuff, they're actually really bad planners. Like, and they're just very good at correcting and cleaning up. And so, this is the quickest I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Of them go, oh no,
we fixed it.
I cite the 10 rings.
Yeah, that's true.
But or the Mandarin.
Yeah, that's very true.
But yeah, I liked it. I liked the show, but I didn't. But I wasn't like, this is really, really good. It wasn't like The Mandalorian or or even Falcon Winter Soldier. Like, I don't know why I keep going back to it. I'm like, I enjoyed that a lot.
I really did too. I know that wasn't
no, not everybody's favorite though. It felt like a long movie, and I'm like, yeah, this is the one long movie I wanted to see.
Yeah, but it's also like they're doing a lot of genre things, or they had been doing genre things. Yes. You know what I mean? And like that was a genre.
That's true. Like they had like WandaVision, Loki, and Falcon Winter Soldier. Like, wow, different shows. And then they went like, oh, and then that's all gonna be the same.
Yeah, no, the Falcon Winter Soldier one is like a political thriller action movie.
Yeah, it's a Captain America movie, but long.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed that one as well. I'm looking forward to episode 2 to finally get a real temperature
idea
on this.
Yeah, good idea. Good point. Temperature, yeah.
I want to also bring up something from earlier in Strange that I just remembered as we were talking.
Oh,
the book Strange that I read.
Yes, of course.
Don't forget, Gemma K wrote it, so there's a Moon Knight section in there where she teams up with him. Moon Knight says, and you can't just magic him back to life. And like I was like, that's what we say.
No. There's no way Jed watches the show.
I know. I was like,
but you can't just magic him back to life. It's like,
you can't just magic this to like whatever. We say that.
We say that a lot. Yeah, no,
so
it's
anyway,
true.
I was like, haha.
So before we give you our recommendations for comics that are coming out this week that we think that you should buy, we're going to read some more super chats.
Let's
Ray
do it.
Farr says, any characters that you like for weird reasons like Deathlock and Grey Hulk because they were the first Marvel Legends toys I ever owned back in 2006? Yeah, I mean, like, I like Sleepwalker because it's random. Quasar. I just referenced him like 15 times this episode. Darkhawk.
I guess Husk.
Husk, naturally. Yeah, Husk.
Because I just like saying that.
Pedro Vengas says, I managed to find all 4 issues of Mudpack. Hey!
I'm so sorry.
I am glad. I don't remember. Are there mini posters in every issue, or is it just in the 4th issue? B Senior or BSR says, I hope they put Scarecrow into the Batman sequel, so DC will put effort into writing a good Scarecrow story like they're clearly doing with the Riddler.
Maybe someone will do that. I don't know.
So,
I don't know
man.
if the lineup's out there. Is there a lineup already for the next One Bad Day?
Oh, yeah, there's a whole list of all the One Bad Days. Hang on.
Excellent.
Yeah, Batman One Bad Day comics. There's a Penguin, there's a Catwoman, there's a Mr. Freeze.
Can we let go of the Penguin for a little bit?
No.
And like Mr. Freeze, why would you do that?
Right?
The animated series already wrote the best story
See?
that's ever gonna. Oh my gosh!
See,
Yeah.
hang on a second. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about right here. That's the logo.
Yeah, they clearly asked them to do that. That's such a mistake.
I know. But yeah, no, the One Bad Days are Two-Face from Mariko Tamaki, Penguin from John Ridley, Mr. Freeze from Jerry Duggan, Catwoman from G. Willow Wilson, Bane from Joshua Williamson, and Clayface from Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing. Also, Ra's al Ghul from Tom Taylor. There you go.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Some of these I'm very excited about, and others I am not.
I am very lukewarm about everything right now.
Yeah. Although, hey, look at, if you see it a little closer, that Batman One Bad Day logo is not, like, I like what they did with the M.
Yeah. I mean,
I never noticed that.
Well, you never noticed that the
M is a bat.
That M makes a bat?
No.
I yes, you have, because I jokingly made that in ComicPop at one point.
They did it then, but like I didn't see it in this.
Oh yeah. Well, that lock-up's better, but they decided to like extend it to fit everything else so that it would look like that instead of looking like that. That's better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. J.R. Gomez. I went to my second comic shop. The first was horrible. I really enjoyed it and met a internet celeb. I plan to come back next week. I got Supergirl. Woman of Tomorrow.
Yay!
Excellent. That's fantastic, man.
Good pick.
Owen's Servant. Your ability to fit Batman versus Predator into shout-outs is top-notch. Thank you very much. That was just an accident. It was there. Mass Terrence says, want to support a quality channel, but cannot come up with a quality comment. Hey, listen, that's quality.
That was a quality comment.
Thank you very much. We got plenty more. There were a couple that were like, talking about She-Hulk and stuff. Hrishi Venkatesh thought She-Hulk episode 1 was necessarily weak. They had to do the origin, so no law, no sitcom, no supporting cast. Hope we hit the swing next week. We do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jordan Phil, ever considered the many deaths of Batman by John Byrne? For back issues, it's a pretty fun run. I think it's very silly. Loved the Sandman video. Gonna give the run a try due to it. Nice.
Thank you. Yay.
Yes, I have those books. We've almost done it a couple times. I was missing one of the chapters and I picked it up recently, and I do have those and I would like to do them. I think that'd be a lot of fun. The Derpiest of Derps, Falcon Winter Soldier's fond memories. I think it comes down to great chemistry between Anthony and Sebastian. Yeah. They're so fun to watch on screen.
Absolutely.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah, because I was not thrilled with the Flag Smasher plot, but also I felt like it was very appropriate for a Captain America story. Dan V900, Marvel has a bizarre obsession with making the second to last episode the origin. WandaVision, Moon Knight, and the original plan for She-Hulk. I do feel bad for the VFX artists who had to rush episode 1 with the change. It shows that they did that, like, because I think Hulk looked more like Shrek than Hulk in a couple of these scenes.
That's a mean thing to say. I don't think that's true.
It's more just like that he's, you know what it is? It's not the CG. It's the fact that he's just wearing t-shirts and glasses and he's like, hey. Like, yeah, Hulk doesn't.
He's smart Hulk.
I know. And at least
Shrek
they named
doesn't wear t-shirts or glasses.
No. No, but Shrek is an anthropomorphic dude who talks like a regular person.
Because he's an ogre. Ogres are always anthropomorphic.
I know. The Telphonics, keep the lights on. Thank you very much, Telphonics. We do appreciate it, man. Hopefully we'll see you at ZapCon on September 10th. As I understand it, you're going. I think that's why I mentioned it. But anyway, let's jump into more comics that are coming out this week that we think you should buy. Detective Comics 1063 is doing the cover scheme that I like.
Yes.
They're keeping it up.
You're locked in.
So yay, I'll read that one. The last one was great. Amazing Spider-Man number 8 is coming out.
Okay.
I'm reading it. We'll see if
and
I stop.
that's a thing
though.
that you're reading.
I am continuing to read it, but I'm not hate reading. I'm hope reading.
That's good.
Damage Control is returning with a new number 1. So we'll see where that goes.
I guess that was coming out next week. I thought it was coming out this week.
Yeah, no, we're getting a book called Tales of the Human Target, which might as well be called Greg Smallwood needs more time to finish this fucking 12-issue miniseries.
He's working on it too.
I know. It could just be covers or some kind of page, but it's written by Tom King with art by Mikel Yannon, Kevin Maguire, Raphael Albuquerque, and Greg Smallwood did the cover.
No,
So,
I think they said they were working.
It says artist and cover. You're right. Yeah.
4 comic artists tell the tales of what happened before Chance drank Luther's poison.
Okay. It's a great series and I love it, so I'll pick it up. We'll see what happens. But that's coming out and I'm excited for it. At least I'm excited for the fact that it's a stopgap for more Human Target. Tiffany, what are you picking up this week?
I'm gonna be picking up A.X.E Judgment Day number 3. Are you kidding me? I love this event.
Yes.
I know I've had event fatigue, but this is reinvigorating me. Kieran Gillen.
Josh Williamson's like, what?
I'm sorry. Listen, Kieran Gillen didn't put my least favorite DC character in it. But it's written by Kieran Gillen with art by Valerio Schiti. Looks great. Love Gillen's writing. Please write more. Marauders number 5 is also coming out, not tied in.
No.
So if you're
if you're
not into the event, you can stick with Marauders this week and not have an issue with that. I've completely fallen off this book, but I still want to give a shout out to Swamp Thing just because it's Swamp Thing, guys. Come on. It's good.
Yeah.
I just fell off. Just right off the back of that truck there.
Oh, that's right. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm not reading Patch.
No, you're not reading Patch.
I'm not reading Patch. Hey, Damage Control is getting a new number 1.
I know. I said that earlier.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I didn't hear you say that.
Well, I did.
Well, now
I
I
said it.
said
minute talking about
Now I said it. Damage Control number 1's coming out, everybody. I don't know if you've heard about this. I know you didn't hear about it from Sal. But Damage Control, written by Hans Rodionoff with and Adam Goldberg and Charlotte Fullerton.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a great team up there.
3 of you to write that.
It's just for us. It's just a joke for us. Public Domain number 3 is coming out if you're reading
Thank
that.
you. I missed that.
You might want to shout that out since Sal didn't bother to tell you about it.
Oh my God. I didn't see its cover.
DC Mech number 2 is coming out.
You're enjoying that.
I really enjoyed that first one. I don't know why, so I'm going to pick that up. Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings number 2. I really love this story so far. I've enjoyed it when it was just Shang-Chi. I like it now that it's Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings. Just good stuff. Jean Luen Yang writing this with art by Marcus Toe.
Yep.
It's totally great.
Totally great.
I'm sorry. I'm garbage for saying that.
Man.
And I'm sure there's many more books, many other books that are coming out that probably have you all very excited.
No doubt.
But those are some of the things that I'll be picking up this week.
That's right. So check those out. I think we had a couple. Yeah, we had one more. Ray Farr says, final one, I swear. Thank you guys for all the work you put into the channel and for letting people know about great books. What you do matters. You're very kind. Thank you very much, Ray.
Thank you.
Apologies to Akbar for calling him out. I didn't mean to give you a hard time. I know that you were new to the chat and you didn't have the context, but I was wrong. And so I apologize for that. Thank you very much for everybody being here, watching the show, and of course for the super chatters for sponsoring today's show. If you want to watch more Tiffany, you can do so at twitch.tv/ComicPop. Of course, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you guys next time with an all-new episode of Off the Rack. Of course, don't forget, there's more videos coming out on this channel and of course on youtube.com/ComicPop, where you'll catch more. We'll see you guys then. I am Sal.
I'm Tiffany.
So long, everybody.
Thanks for liking my hair.